Why do I always like put a snack in my mouth right before the thing ends? I do it every single time. I'm not sure what the reason is. Yeah, it is definitely poor timing, 100%. But
it's also like slightly sexual as well. So I know why you walked into that one, Eric.
So when we had, I'm not going to comment on that. So when we had a few guests over, we had a few guests over for the holidays. We stocked up on some stuff. You guys might have seen me drinking Dr. Perky instead of Dr. Pepper. I did have the real Doritos, even though there are some generic Doritos, but I had the real Doritos.
Yeah, but they were family size where they're discounted based off.
Well, they were the party size.
Oh, party size.
Yeah.
I think they call them family size over here, but even then, they're probably just a normal size Doritos over in America.
Yeah. So,
what flavor is red, by the way?
I mean, it's just nacho cheese.
So over here, red is cheese, supreme. Yellow is nacho cheese.
Red usually means spicy for me.
I actually heard, well, there is a spicy one. I like those actually, though, the spicy ones. But I've heard that there's a lot of different flavors in other countries that are better than the regular flavor.
We have Thai sweet chili over here, which are very, very, very good.
Okay. It's funny you mentioned that one because one night I was working at a venue, and in the kitchen, the guy that was working had some of that Thai sweet chili Doritos.
Yeah, they're purple.
He had to order them through Amazon because they don't sell them. You know, you had to get them like through a international market or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I tried them. I was like, these are really good. I'm surprised they don't have them. But apparently they test market them, and if they don't do well, they just don't put them out in certain countries. But anyway, the point I was getting to was I like sweet tea. I do. But it's not like my favorite thing to drink. It's just something that I really enjoy. And so when we had our party, several people wanted tea. That's the drink they chose. So we put it in the basket. We had to get like a big, massive, like 24 pack of tea because all of the regular like tea was gone because it was the holidays and people were buying the gallons of tea, sweet, unsweetened, green tea, whatever it is, they were buying all of it. So you have this big, like almost like it fills up almost the refrigerator of Arizona, like brewed sweet tea or whatever, which I like them, but we forgot about them during the party. So we didn't bring them in. And the people that wanted sweet tea brought their own sweet tea with them. I guess they're used to people not having it. So we didn't bring it in. So tonight when we went out for something, we were going to put something in the back of the car and this like 24 pack of sweet tea was sitting back there. So we brought it in and put it in the fridge. And it just takes up like the entire refrigerator. So I was like, I guess I'll drink some of them and get it out of the way, make some room in there.
You could say that you're about to become Mr. T.
Maybe.
You don't have to wait for it to get cold because I bet it's like cold where you're
at. It was already cold when I brought it in. Yeah. Speaking of that, Paigey, what is the weather like over there for you? You guys are transitioning season soon, right? It's going to be going into winter.
Hot today as well.
Right.
I walked out. I walked out this morning at 6:30 a.m. It felt like it was about 10. It was that hot. The sun was out. I was like, oh my fucking god! Didn't rain today.
We're getting leftovers from DJ Eric where he's at because we're getting the cold front, which is bringing our temperature down from 60 to 32.
Yeah, the last couple of days we've had like snow. We actually have some snow tonight as well.
I saw on the news because they were in Washington D.C. and I was like, oh, Eric lives near there, but they're having like blizzard. I know it was a blizzard, but it was like things were like
we didn't get a blizzard. We got snow, but not a blizzard. But 3 hours south or north of us was like a blizzard. So it's pretty crazy. Let me know in the chat anybody that's in the United States is dealing with this blizzard because actually, okay, funny story time. Let me know in the chat if you're dealing with blizzard, but funny story time. So before Christmas, I ordered a gift and it was like a 3-tier serving tray. You know what I mean? Like it has the 3 levels and you can put stuff on it and it's like all porcelain. Anyway, I ordered it before Christmas, but I knew it wasn't going to get here by Christmas, but it was a gift for someone and they knew that I was getting it for them. So we're just waiting for it to arrive. And today we had a mysterious package left at the door because it was from Walmart and we don't really order anything from Walmart, but it was wrapped in a Walmart bag. And we looked on the outside. There's no return address. There's no information because apparently it was ordered. It was one of those same day deliveries, so it's just wrapped in a bag and then somebody drops it off that same day. So we tried to figure out who it was for, but we could not. It had to be somebody on our street. So I went on my phone, looked at the Nextdoor app, the Ring app, to see if anybody had a package that was supposed to be delivered that wasn't delivered, because we didn't order anything from Walmart. So we bring it into the house and it's really heavy. And so I'm like, I want to know what this is. So that way we know what it is. That this, like, it could be something that needs to be refrigerated. We didn't know what it was. And if it was somebody else's, I'm like, if it's like ice cream, or because it's from Walmart, I have no idea what it is. So like, if it's ice cream or it's like a product that needs to be put in the refrigerator, it would go bad if the person comes to our house looking for it, because they took a picture of it. You know how they take a picture when they drop off something for delivery? So I saw the person on our Ring cam that took the picture of it. So I'm like, they took a picture of it. So the person is in our neighborhood. They might know that it's our house. They might come to the door and be like, hey, do you have our item? So I was like, we need to open it and take it out and put it in the fridge because it was a heavy item. It ended up being the serving tray that I had ordered online from Amazon.
Sometimes Amazon does do, like, the Walmart sells stuff on Amazon and it will show up as a Walmart bag.
Right. And that's what we thought. I was like, well, maybe it came early, because sometimes it comes early and you know, but there was no sticker on it showing who it was going to or anything like that. So I went into my Amazon app to look up that tray because I wanted to make sure that it had gone through properly, like the payment had gone through. The tray had not been shipped out yet from Amazon.
Wow. Someone thought ahead.
So we received the same exact serving tray that I ordered from Amazon from Walmart today. And I just got the notification before the stream started that the serving tray that I purchased from Amazon is now shipped out and it's coming tomorrow. So somehow someone else ordered this serving tray, the same, literally the same one that I ordered like a week and a half ago. And we're getting another one. It's already like on the way. Now, the thing about it is we'll probably end up using the serving trays. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like they won't get used, but how weird is that? That's really fucking weird, right?
Did it have an address on it?
No.
Wow.
There's nothing on it. It was wrapped in a Walmart shipping bag.
How did they know what house to deliver it to?
Because it was one of those same day delivery. That's what I was saying. Like if I were to go to Walmart app right now and order like a frozen pizza, they would bring it to the house in one of those bags and drop it off at the door. But there would be no reason for like a shipping label because it's not being shipped. It's just being transported from Walmart to my house. So that serving tray came from a local Walmart and it was dropped off at my house because that's the address they had on there. But apparently they delivered it to the wrong house. So somehow, because when I opened it up, I was like, oh, here's your gift. Like, I was like, this is the gift I ordered for you. I looked at it, immediately knew what it was. I was like, I don't know why it came from Walmart. That doesn't make any sense. And then 3 what you were saying about like how sometimes suppliers might ship through other places. I was like, yeah, maybe Amazon's warehouse is somehow connected to the Walmart warehouse. I don't know, maybe. But then when I went in and saw that the original one that I ordered hadn't been shipped out yet, I was like, there's no way. There's no way it's the same thing.
Sometimes they do, there's a huge delay too, sometimes.
Yeah, but this isn't that. This is a completely different. Somebody ordered the same tray that I ordered, except they got it from Walmart same day, and it was dropped off at the wrong house. And we kept it in the box here in case they were going, because it happened this morning, if they were going to come out to look for it. But I'm like, what they probably did is they just reported it to Walmart, and then Walmart.
Yeah, they get a free one if it doesn't go to them.
So they're going to get a free one or get their money back. We got a free serving tray. I don't know what to do with it other than just keep it in the box until we need it. I just.
Also, did you check to see if the shipping label the tracking number is correct? Like, basically check if it ships through UPS, go to UPS and track the order. Sometimes Amazon's slow, and UPS is like extremely fast.
Well, you mean with the one that's coming second, or the one that we just
the one that's on the Amazon account? Like,
no, that one's out
check.
for delivery. It's already out for delivery. So,
Okay.
like, they shipped it. They shipped it immediately, and apparently we have a local Amazon warehouse. So the minute that it came out with the order, they're like, it'll be here tomorrow in the morning sometime. So they shipped it tonight, but it'll be here in the morning. So anyway, it's just really weird. It was kind of.
Can I just butt in and say something?
Yeah.
I'd rather talk about the complexities and themes of Inhumans, because that was the most boring conversation I've ever heard in my entire fucking life. Honestly, there's traffic about 10 meters that way. It was appealing, jumping in front of it after that conversation. Anyway, I just thought I'd just butt in and say I thought I'd let you guys finish the conversation before I critiqued it and gave it a rating.
Usually when you're bored, you start doing dumb shit. I was waiting for you to say
I had to withhold the beatboxing. Maybe that means it might come out later. Actually, I do have one thing to say. Eric, happy January 6th. I know you celebrated today. Just thought I'd. I knew you. That's why the stream was started a bit later, and that's why
you do realize that January 6th is an actual like day that does something, right? It's not just.
It's
not just about
right?
that.
I know. I wasn't suggesting anything. You're the one that's getting offended.
I'm not getting offended. I'm saying you're making the joke because you only.
I'm Jing up, Eric. Calm down.
No. Listen. I'm not. No, because you don't live here, so you might not realize that January 6th actually is a day the government does something. It's not.
It's when the vice president does the thing, doesn't it? When
does the thing?
It's working thing.
You mean swearing in like government officials? Yes, that's the day that happens.
Yeah, that one.
But yes, but nothing. Even though they put up like I guess they put up like fences and stuff around the Capitol. Nothing. I didn't think anything was going to happen anyway. So I was like, okay. No, I didn't think so.
I know. Was there anything? Was there people planning stuff or no? That was just
no. I mean, I think they just did it in preparation for something, but nothing happened.
Yeah. So, when's the actual thing? It's in like 2 weeks or something, isn't it?
The 20th.
Oh, so it's exactly 2 weeks. Okay. I didn't realize they did it on a weekday. Thought they would do it on a.
They just do it on whatever day that falls on.
Yeah.
So just whatever day that happens.
I hear about that. I'm like, I go to Hunger Games. I'm like, that's that's where
I prefer, in all honesty, I prefer to not think about politics that much. Like it's just not something I think about. I go and I vote. I keep up with my local officials. Any news that's prevalent to me, but the reason why we elect people is so we don't have to think about it all the time. That's the whole point of them being there. So for me,
there's so much more funner stuff to think about.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, I don't really think that. I honestly, I know people would say, well, you have a channel where you talk about it once in a while. I do, but it's usually like the bigger stuff. I don't think about all the minutia that goes into it. So,
Eric, I need you to discuss trade tax, please. We need daily. So I know people are clamoring for Black Adam updates. We need.
You thought the delivery mix-up was boring? That would trade tax would be
trade tax updates. Hashtag trade tax updates coming to AirrickDebunks.
Speaking of that, though, I actually was going to talk about a new podcast series that I want to do, but I don't know how I'm going to incorporate it yet. But I'll tell you the idea. So I've already got the branding done for it. I just don't know how I'm going to launch it because I think it's going to be a pre-recorded thing. And I'm not even sure if it's going to contain multiple guests or not. I don't know, but it's going to be like the preliminary name of it is like the Effed Up Podcast, and basically it's just looking at dumb stuff. Like you see those clips that you see, like the stupid meme that you show all the time, the one that you've been showing recently. Yeah, like
don't preface that with stupid. You mean high class?
No, extremely stupid. But I was thinking about like a podcast where you just talk about stuff like that, like the dumbest, nonsensical stuff, because I think it would be fun because it doesn't require being serious. You know what I mean? It would literally be laughing at stuff, which I think is something a lot of people would appreciate.
Internet shit.
Yeah, pretty much for those terminally online people. All right, quick thing here. We do have a super chat goal. We still have an hour and 45 minutes on it. There's a poll available. You can see in the poll what the options are. I'm going to read them out loud. If we reach the goal tonight, we have 4 options, and I've actually decided to differentiate what these are because a lot of people didn't understand if they were going to be topics or streams or whatever. So I've decided to. It says in there what they actually are. So we could do a DCU fan cast stream where I would actually go through and look up this because I don't typically think about fan casting, but I would actually go through and look up like the people I'd like to see in certain characters. An X-Men fan cast stream. Those are both separate streams for those topics. The other two are topics that would be included in the next Nerdcast, so the one on Thursday. And that would be MCU 5 worst movies or how to fix the DCEU. So those are the two topics. So those are the 4 options if we hit the goal. So vote in the poll, and if you'd like to contribute to the goal, you can. And let's see where we end up on there. Why is the live chat not loading?
DCEU one sounds very controversial.
Does it? Really? Are you sure?
Like, well, it would target a bunch of angry people.
Yeah. Is the chat messed up for anybody else?
Not me, because I don't see
Let me
it.
completely close the window and start over. Yeah, like my YouTube chat won't load. It's really weird.
Maybe it's like really slow.
No, I mean like 3W. Sometimes I think you think that I'm completely new to technology. It's the chat is not loading. That's literally what I meant when I said that. Yeah, it's just not loading.
What can I say? You look your age.
I know. I'm so old. Yeah, so it's doing this weird thing where, I don't know. Anyway, let's move back here to this one to fan funding. We'll leave it there because that works. For some reason, I can see super chats and stuff, but it's not loading the actual chat. That's weird.
I wasn't being serious, Defunk.
All right, so Naruto chiming in with our first super chat of the night. Thank you so much for being a team member and super chatting. Eric, I've been meaning to ask you, did you ever find that show I told you about, Celerity? I did find it, but I have not had a chance to watch
Solitaire.
it. Yeah. I haven't had a chance to watch it. So, what did you share, Paigey? What is this?
I was laughing at this for like 5 minutes.
I
don't
understand this. Yeah, I don't know what the joke is on this one. So
I'm trying to find. I don't find it funny at all. I don't see the cameras.
I don't get it.
I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah, but what is the joke though? Is the question.
I just think it's a nice picture. But it's also like unique. But that adds to the
ocean has milk.
Well, it just makes me think the cow's thinking. It's just like spending some time at the beach, just looking out and having a think. You know, think about that. Like cows have thoughts.
Think one and think two.
All right, so we're gonna start talking about some stuff here.
Thank you.
I don't really know what to think of that, but okay. All right, so let's go ahead and let's see here.
It's thinking moo.
Trying to figure out what I want to do first in the topics. Why is that not? Hold on.
You should show my thing while you're thinking.
I'm sitting here trying to set the show up, and you're still sharing dumb stuff. This is so dumb.
It's to keep the.
I mean, last time we talked about this, no one understands the humor of that meme. The chat doesn't understand it. We had people in the chat wondering what was funny about it. It just doesn't. It must be a very specific group of people that find that funny.
And location wise.
Actually, the funniest thing was the thing on the left side. The dancing lizard alien thing or whatever. That was the funny part. The connection to that other meme is not funny. It's not funny to me.
Oh, you know, it popped into my head the other day when Canada Grass was yelling at the 7-Eleven.
That's old lore. That's like...
It's not that old. It's like a couple of years old.
I know, but I mean, I feel like that's like really niche. You would have to been watching the after party.
I just remember, when I put it on that stream once, and you reacted to it live, not realizing what it was going to be.
Yeah, JK, I agree. Gen Z brain rot. That's the only thing I can be. I don't really know what else that is. All right. Speaking of brain rot.
Decent segue.
I mean, what's the best way to do it is to have a good segue. All right, so let's start out with this. Not super I'm not going to pull politics into it because I know that is what the whole Elon Musk stuff is about. But I want to talk about these changes coming to Twitter because I think it's really interesting, especially when it comes to like just general brain rot on Twitter, because Twitter's sort of the home of brain rot. To be honest,
no, TikTok 100% is the
no. Twitter is the home of brain rot.
I think in regards to pure brain rot, like in regards to like, wow, this is just stupid, is TikTok. In regards to like, wow, that's concerning that someone actually believes that. And it's Twitter.
No, because Twitter does not block slurs and shit. TikTok does.
Yeah, but I don't think brain rot's like stuff like that, like the locked in and geeked thing, but like it's like when people believe like over like the top conspiracy theories about like
but certain conspiracy theories are banned on TikTok too. Twitter has no regulation on that stuff. None. There's certain things like on Twitter you could say the most vile shit, the dumbest conspiracy theories. You can't do that on TikTok.
Are we getting brain rot mixed up with red pilled? Because I think that's more red pilled. That's Twitter's red pilled while TikTok is brain rot.
I think brain rot can be all of it. Red pill brain rot. Brain rot is just a symptom.
I think it's the next level. Maybe. Brain rot is like fries. Red pill is cheesy fries.
I would say that Twitter is more. See, you want to say TikTok because you don't like TikTok. That's pretty much.
No, I don't mind TikTok.
You don't like TikTok, just like you don't like.
I like TikTok in regards to like it's somewhere you go in and it's silly. I don't like a lot of TikTok creators because I think that's where like a lot of misinformation and stupid shit comes from. But not in the brain rot thing. I think like go there and see funny stuff. Almost like I like the Vine side of like what TikTok is, like the Vine aspect of it, like what Vine used to be. That's funny to me and good.
For every one TikTok that somebody makes about something stupid, there's a million memes that happen on Twitter of those TikToks. That's the reality of it. So like if somebody makes a TikTok about some weird brain rot conspiracy theory, it inevitably comes over to Twitter and gets transformed into 5,000 memes.
Or it goes to the grapevine and loses all meaning.
But that's what I mean. Like that contributes more to the brain rot than just the initial video, because it takes spreading of that to make brain rot.
What's the thing you call in America that's Australia says in like almost like a borderline racist way? And I don't want to say it.
Wait. What do you mean?
When people say things and it goes down like through the grapevine, but you said it was something else the other day.
Telephone. They call it telephone.
Telephone. That's it.
Yeah.
I won't say the Australian one.
I know. We've already gone through that. But I would say that Twitter contributes to the spreading of the brain rot more than TikTok. Because TikTok's, yes, there's brain rot on TikTok. There's brain rot here on YouTube. It's all over the place. But I think Twitter, without any guardrails, makes it 10 times worse. And yes, there's probably some red pilling going on and shit like that. There's a lot of that dumb stuff happening. But I see more brain rot get transformed on Twitter than on TikTok. It gets more transformative. I could go through TikTok all day and maybe stumble onto something stupid, but on Twitter, it's like every other post.
I think the thing that rams Twitter up and dials it to 11 is just the monetization factor. Like if I see a blue tick, you just sort of have to question it, unless it's like something like an official thing, like if Culture Crave's doing it, whatever. For example, a discussing film. When I see it's like my bum is yum or something and has the blue tick, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to really pay attention to what you have to say.
Let me just say that I'm not giving Culture Crave a pass, just like I don't give any of these other ones. Like there's sometimes where they do shit and I'm like, that's literally just for monetization. Which, by the way, Twitter monetization has gone in the toilet. There are people sharing pictures of what they're getting paid now. Someone was doing like, I think it was like 500 videos on Twitter getting hundreds of thousands of views and they made like $180. It was like not worth it.
Well, my belief around it, and I'm pretty sure this is how they do it, because I think even like something like YouTube Shorts would maybe work the exact same way. I don't know, but I think on TikTok, I believe they get how much is it to do the premium to get the blue tick per
Or
month?
for poor people, $100 is a lot. Just saying.
No,
No,
it's
but
not
like-
worth. It's not, but it's not worth the time. 3Dub. That's what I'm saying.
well,
like,
I mean,
if you're
time.
spending all day, every day uploading videos and memes to Twitter to make $180, you could be
Go
making
do
money.
go do DoorDash. You'll make
Well,
fucking
yeah,
10 times that.
job, it doesn't matter.
What was that? What'd you
It's
say?
like if you have a job, it doesn't really
you-
matter.
Well, if
Okay.
you have a job, you won't be doing that then.
Right,
You
right.
won't
That's
be-
what I was gonna say. So the issue is that in order for them to make that much content, they have to. This has to be their job. Social media has to be their job. You'd make far more money doing other things on social media than, because essentially before, okay, so they made changes to the system. Before anybody clicked on a tweet, you got money from that from Twitter. But Twitter is bleeding money because they are unregulated, which is, it's going to lead into this. I'm getting there. So they're bleeding money because they're unregulated, and advertisers are not spending as much money on Twitter, which is why you see pop-ups for like dating apps and hentai stuff and all this other shit on Twitter. So they're not making as much money. So they changed the system so that people with blue check marks can only make money from other people with blue check marks. So that has significantly reduced the amount of money that people are making. So someone like Sneeko, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Sneeko or not, but Sneeko shared
Fox from Dora the Explorer.
no. Anyway, he's an influencer that's known for doing the dumb shit that we all talk about, the brain rot that we just talked about. He does that. He was making hundreds of thousands of dollars on Twitter. And then all this shit changed on Twitter, and now he's making like $200 on Twitter.
Well, my thought around it is that, like, and I'm pretty sure it's the case anyway, is that they pull all the money together from the subscriptions, and then they choose how they want to put it out there. Because I've seen the cases where, like, let's just say someone got 500,000, even though you need more, but let's say you got 500,000 views, they got paid, let's just say it was $1,000, even though it'd be much less.
Right.
But then someone get 250,000 views, and they'd get 4 times the amount for having half the views. It made no sense. Like, how that's fair.
Know what?
It's because it's not fair. It's because I think they're picking and choosing, maybe based on where people live, what they post about specifically, and even maybe if they're like a public figure to an extent.
You know what was really kind of weird and bizarre is the fact that people can make money off of people who had the original idea. Basically, they talk about the idea that the other person had, and it goes through like 5 generations of YouTubers to where they're doing the same video talking about the same thing that got like viral.
Well, that's because, okay, so on YouTube, I don't know about Twitter, but on YouTube, if I make a video this year and put like top 5 things you might have missed in, I don't know, Jurassic World, right? That'll go viral, maybe. It'll get millions of views. But then 2 months from now, somebody else will make the same video, but it's a new video. And then that video will go viral. So you can literally do the same video like once a year about the same stuff, slightly updating it, and it'll probably get more views. Like if you look back at old videos, very few videos after they reach like their peak of share ability, like that say for example, I put out that Jurassic World video, like 5 things you didn't know about Jurassic World. I put it out at the beginning of March, and then by the end of March, it sort of plateaus at like 2 million views. Right? It's 2 million. That's all you see. Then a year later, I make that same video again, but I change a few of the things because a little bit more information came out. That video would also get around, 2 million views or whatever. It's a certain cap that videos get to where they're just not going to get more views. And so you can just reboot those and redo them over and over and over again.
And it's kind of like basically the cheat way of doing taking money, basically.
Well, I mean, as long as you're not doing it, like I don't think it's really, when you say cheat way, what do you mean? Like just
basically you look for something that goes viral and then you talk about the viral thing and then it goes viral.
So you're talking about like the people that sit in front of a viral video and just look like they look at the screen while the video is playing in the background?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? Okay. Yeah. So that is, well, the thing is that YouTube specifically, I don't remember when they said it, but they came out a while back and said that content like that would not be prioritized. But I don't know how they would know that unless they went through and looked at it or got reported. Because I see a lot of times when, say, for example, I make a video and then somebody reacts to my video. If they've got a larger channel, they're going to get more views and it doesn't count towards my video. You know, so that is a problem that YouTube has that I don't know if they're ever going to be able to fix that, because they don't really have
it's too hard to regulate consistently.
Yeah. Like, say, for example, somebody were to react to this stream and they got 3 times as many views as I did and they made more revenue off of it. Unless I claim their video, like literally go in and use that old ass DMCA system and claim their video, then I get no benefit from that, like financially. But the trade-off on that is exposure. Maybe somebody sees that video and they're like, I want to go subscribe to this person's channel. You never know if that's going to happen. But DMCAing is really bad. YouTube would be better off trying to find a way to share revenue properly like they do with music, but it's a really tough, I don't know how they would do it. I don't even know if they care enough to do it or if people care, but the bigger studios pay these organizations to go around and do that. So when you have like a trailer in your video and it's like, oh, the revenue is being shared, that's because they have other companies that do it. Like an average YouTuber is not going to have that. I don't have somebody working for me to go search for my content on YouTube.
It would be really awesome if the detector detected your video and then gave you the views to where
it would be, yeah. I mean,
like basically it's a copy of what he's making, except for, you know, like if he has like a lot of followers and they're watching that video, YouTube will also deliver those views to your channel.
Right. Well, let's just move on, because I think this chat is just, it's kind of boring for people that don't make YouTube videos. So, but Elon Musk is saying that Twitter is going to change and negativity will be penalized. What does that mean? There's no real description on what negativity is. It's ambiguous. Negativity is different for different people. I don't know. Hate speech? I have no idea. Informational and entertaining content will be promoted. Again, what does that mean? Does that mean content that he personally finds entertaining? I have no idea. And the goal is to increase unregretted user time. So people that feel like they're scrolling through Twitter and Pagey, I think they mean brain rot. Like people that scroll through Twitter and feel like their brain is rotted from watching content, which is or red pilled content or awful content or whatever it might be. Okay, so before we move on, is this going to change Twitter? Do you guys think that people will change the kind of content they're making, or do you think it's not going to matter? What do you think?
The lie, basically clickbait, like basically sound positive and the video is not.
That's a good point. Pagey, any thoughts on this?
I think it depends. Like, I think it depends if it changes. Like, is this meant to like advertise people are doing like uploading videos to Twitter rather than those like threads? Like you see, there's like, here's a thread of how this happened, or here's a thread of all this stuff that happened. Such a video,
maybe.
But the thing is, you have to increase, like, unless you're just reposting a YouTube video or something.
Right. Yeah. Oh, Darren has joined us. There he goes. Hello. Good to see you. I'm surprised you're here because I know you streamed right before me, and I'm like, he's probably really tired. Anyway,
he's gonna be yawning.
Yeah, I took like a 30-minute break, just be like, oh, I'll get some food. I'll lay down for a couple minutes and then I'll hop in for a while.
Yeah. Okay, so Naruto with super chat here. Thank you, Naruto. $5 super chat. Have you watched Fantastic Four Marvel Rivals trailer today? It is in my tabs to watch, which is the Fantastic Four one. So we'll be watching that in the stream at some point, because I actually have some comments on Marvel Rivals in general. In terms of what
characters.
Well, I did see they're going to be nerfing a couple characters, but we're not going to talk about that part. But I do want to talk in general about just how they're doing things right, and I think DC should be paying attention to that. But thank you for the super chat. We will be watching that today. All right, I have this on the thumbnail, and I want to just kind of discuss this for a moment. This was kind of crazy. So the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise has now crossed 1 billion at the worldwide box office. So after the third movie, now they've crossed that $1 billion mark as a franchise. Do you think that these movies were good enough that they should have made more money at this point, or do you think that this feels right? Like, general thoughts on this?
Basically, I think a franchise should like grow as the audience grows. Basically, people that are now watching Sonic, you know, like help out the box office. Basically, it's how do I say this? A slight progression as time goes on, to where it gets to 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion. Like keep it going up, just like the MCU. How it just rose.
Right. Well, I guess what I'm getting at is, do we think that these movies individually should have been higher in performance in terms of sales, or because it just now crossed 1 billion at the box office, which means each movie was under 500 million.
Yeah, they should have like made about 700. They're really good.
Okay.
The only thing that pulled me out was the ugly Sonic. That they shouldn't have done that.
Well, we wouldn't have had this one if people wouldn't have complained about that one. But Paigey is under the belief that that was always the plan. And I think a lot of people
I think that was a stupid plan too.
So it was a psyop. Darren, any thoughts on this? I don't know if you talked about it on your stream or not.
No, I mean, I think this feels right for them. Like, I feel like Sonic, obviously very popular IP inside the gaming world, one of the most popular video game characters of all time, but it wasn't like mainstream. I don't think it was like a mainstream thing where casual audiences would automatically want to jump onto it. Like, I feel like there was that buffer between like Sonic fans and mainstream fans, and I feel like we're slowly now becoming more mainstream. Now I think by the third one, everyone's like, yeah, let's just go see Sonic. We love Sonic 1, we like Sonic 2. Let's go see Sonic 3. So yeah, this isn't surprising to me. I am going to be curious though, like 3Dub says, if it comes Sonic 4, because this one's doing really well. It seems like this one's doing like one of the better ones out of the main three. They're very popular. It's being Disney currently in the box office, stuff like that. I will be curious if they keep going up. If as the brand recognition grows, if the money will go up or if it'll go down, because that's also a sequel thing where it's like the more sequels you do, the harder it is to jump on to a new one. So I think that's going to be the more interesting conversation.
Has everyone like seen it? Like, I'm not going to spoil anything, but
I'm going to see it tomorrow. So
okay, there's a character tease that I'm really looking forward to seeing in Sonic 4.
Paigey, do you have any thoughts on Sonic? Have you seen any of these movies?
Yeah, I watched like 40 minutes of the first one and turned it off. So that probably shows you.
What about the Knuckles show? Didn't you watch the Knuckles show?
Well, apparently that's even worse. I mean, it's a kids movie. Like,
it's no offense. Let's just be honest.
It's no offense to the thing. I was really never into Sonic. Like, I played it and stuff, but like I was never really into it that much. And like, it's a kids movie. Like, it's for kids. And like, I understand like a lot of movies are for kids and you can watch them. It was just a bit too silly for me. Like,
he's an adult. Yeah.
Well, no, it was just too silly. Like, I think it's funny, but it was too silly.
So I would say, okay, I kind of understand what Paigey's saying. For me personally, I would say that a cartoon video game movie that sort of hits the mark for all ages in terms of having something for everybody would be like the Super Mario movie.
I think it's a really good example. I watched it. I watched it throughout the week. I was going to bring it up. I forgot to, and then this put it back to my head. I don't see enough people talking about it. It should have done better at the box office. I think it's fucking hilarious. Some of the jokes are hilarious, and it's both like for adults and kids. But the Lego Batman movie, I think
that's a great movie. That's a great movie.
Good. It should have done better at the box office. It should have got a sequel. The fact it did not get a sequel, I can't believe.
Well, I mean, there's lots of like Lego movies, right? I mean, there's at least
but there's only like a few like proper ones. A lot of them are like straight to DVD and stuff.
That's the one that has what's his name voice acting, right? Will Arnett. Yeah,
it's got like Jonah Hill's Green Lantern in it.
You know what's funny is Will Arnett hosts Lego Masters for the United States. He's like the host of that show.
Is that? Yeah, that's weird because I think like that was on in Australia first, but I don't know if it's an Australian show that started it.
I don't know, but we watched the Australian one. We actually like the Australian one better. It's a better show, I think.
Did you happen to see that clip where Ben Affleck and Will Arnett have a conversation and they're both like, I'm Batman, and Ben Affleck's like, no, you're not.
That sounds that sounds like a very cringy clip, so we're not going to watch that one. But anyway, go ahead.
Kind of add on Paigey's thing I'm curious about, because that was not to spoil anything. I talked about this last time I was on. My biggest problem with the movie is they had a hard time balancing. There's some very serious stuff in this movie, very grounded stuff that's like, oh my gosh, this is great. Also, what Paigey's saying, it can be very kiddish. It can be very childish, and balancing those two. My hope for Sonic 4 onward is we start to grow up with the audience, right? If you introduce this to a younger audience through 1, 2, 3, my hope is they'll be a little bit older by 2027. We can hopefully age up with that audience a little bit, which I kind of think like Sonic can be a very dark franchise. Like when they want to, it can be very serious, it can be very grounded. And I do hope they kind of lean more into that because it is, I think, tough for us where it's like, I don't want to take away a franchise that kids are really obviously loving and enjoying, but also it's like, yeah, but I kind of want to take itself a little bit more seriously sometimes.
It's probably the issue with releasing 3 movies in the space of 4 years. Like, there's not a lot of chance, a lot of time, I'd say, for growth. Like, if someone's watching when they're 5, they're only 9 now. You know, like, you're not going to bring in, hold on, depression. Like a 9-year-old's going to be like, what the fuck is that? I'm not going to say that exactly, otherwise they might be in timeout for a bit, but like, you can't do that. Like, it's like with Toy Story, for example, like that came out in what, 94, whatever the first one. Like, you had time until the second one. Like, what was it, 5 or 6 years later, and then the third one. So there's like time there for.
Kids grow up a lot faster nowadays. They grow up a lot faster.
That is true.
So.
That is true.
It's all the red 40 and growth hormones in the vegetables.
Yeah, and like, you know,
also,
like
I didn't catch the balancing. Like, for me, it was fine. Like it got serious when it needed to do, and then it got funny when it wanted to.
But
So,
3-Dub, to be fair, you did like Craven, so I don't know if we're.
I like Craven more than Madam Web,
But not more than Sonic 3.
I don't know, 3-Dub. That's like saying I prefer
Sonic 3. I like
the
more
head
than
a shotgun.
Craven.
I would be worried if you liked Craven more than Sonic 3 3-Dubs. I would be sending you to a
I like
doctor.
Sonic 3 more than Mufasa.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't know if that's saying much though. Wasn't
Mufasa's actually doing really well right now. So
it had a comeback, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll look at the numbers in a second, but Anonymous has a question for you and I, Paigey.
What?
BoJack Horseman. Did you ever watch that?
I watched some of it, but I don't know how much of it I watched. I think I watched some of it during COVID, and I was just looking for something to watch. I didn't watch all of it though. I know because it's got like a bunch of.
I'll be honest. That type of humor doesn't land for me. Like, it just doesn't. I think there's a very specific audience to that, and I'm not that audience. So.
I might be. I don't know. It really relies on how recently you've seen Lego Batman, but the scene keeps playing in my head, and I think it's so funny. It's when he's eating dinner. He's eating like this lobster in the pool thing, and like the thing. And then when he's done, he like pats his mouth. He just gets up randomly and starts shredding on a guitar for no reason.
Yeah. I think that's like, isn't that considered like cringe humor? There's like a name for it. It's like a weird, I don't know what the title that is.
When stuff just happens.
Yeah, like this random like awkward humor. I don't really know how to explain it, but I've heard it's like got a title.
Isn't it? I don't know. I'd call it like breaking tension. I don't know.
They also made like a popcorn bucket of Ugly Sonic and presented it to the cast, and they're like, "That's not Sonic."
Oh. Yeah, I did see that.
All right, we've got some more movie news here. Moana 2 is almost at $1 billion now, 960 million globally. So it's most likely going to hit $1 billion. Most likely. Does this surprise anybody? Considering what we talked about last week?
No, it's taken longer than Inside Out 2, but I think that was I think we all kind of saw that coming because we had Mufasa and Sonic and all the other like movies out during the holiday season, so it's going to take a bit more for them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if they keep it in theaters through like January, they're good. They got that easily.
You know, we talked about like Jurassic World, Fantastic Four, and Superman overlapping with each other. This is a good example of the kind of struggle a movie can have if it is faced with like other options. Because I think this movie could have been at $1 billion over a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
If it didn't have other things up against it, because you got Sonic, you got Mufasa. There's just other things competing in that category, and this is a perfect like this. I don't think you could have a better representation of like my concerns about those movies all being out at the same time. I think this is a really good example of that. The only difference is, I think Fantastic Four benefits slightly because it is the movie that comes out at the end of that like pile up, and it's going to probably stay in theaters longer than the other two movies without any competition. But at the same time, I'm still worried about movies like Superman because I want that movie to perform well, and it's being sandwiched in between two other movies that are probably going to do extremely well.
Also, animation, like they usually make really good money too. Like you can have 3 out and they can still make money.
What?
Oh, I was saying that with Moana, like it can still make money even though it had 2 other competing animation films. Unlike
What are
I
the
think
other two?
Mufasa and Sonic.
Oh,
Not
okay.
well, not like full animation, but
Okay,
you
fair
know,
enough.
kid movies.
Yeah, not really, but kind of, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess more so there's like 3 kind of like family movies out at the same time.
Yeah,
the
that's
idea,
that's
yeah.
that's
So
fair.
it looks like Mufasa, internally they were looking to make 500 million. Like that's the number the studio was hoping to make just to be satisfied with all of the money they put into the film. And right now, according to Box Office Mojo, it is at
Sonic is
470.
animation.
So it will definitely get to 500. I mean, it's almost certain at this point if it has another strong weekend.
I'm wondering if they do a sequel of some kind, if not for Mufasa, for like Lion King 2. Like I don't know if we talked about it, but like last year they had said like, oh, we want to make like a whole universe surrounding Lion King and whatever. And I have my issues with that concept as a whole, but like they do, not to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it. I don't know if anyone cares about Mufasa spoilers, but
I really don't. I don't care, but if you want to be careful, you can.
It does end in a way where you're like, okay, you can see where they could do another one of these. I'm not going to say on which side of it, if it's a sequel or a Mufasa, but like there are ways you could expand both worlds if you want to. So I could see it if in a couple years they announce.
I call this a sequel prequel. Like it's a sequel to Lion King, but prequel because it has Simba's daughter. So it's a sequel prequel.
Yeah.
Wait, was that a spoiler?
No.
Okay.
She's in the trailer.
Yeah, she's in all the trailers and all the marketing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that I was like not spoiling it for anybody. All right, where's this next topic at? So this is what I saw, and this is okay. I want to preface this before I even pull it up on the screen. It's probably not real. It's probably not a real thing. But
hold on. Is this the thing you sent me before asking is this real?
No.
It was like the Chris Pratt Rosa Parks film or something. Like it's not real.
Eric. I definitely did not send you that. I definitely did not send you that.
Okay, now you're denying it.
Eric,
here we go.
How could you?
I'm just showing it. What reaction to this?
Was this like a slow fade in just for who reacts first?
If this is look, I'm gonna say if this is true, it's really bad for Superman. If Dr. Doom has a legitimate if he's not just gonna be a teaser and he's gonna actually be in the movie.
The biggest thing is like the trailer, and I've seen people now asking, "Where's the Fantastic Four trailer?" I'm like, I mean, they're not going to release it now. If they're going to release it, they would have released it before Christmas. That's why it was smart for Superman to get in there and get it out. Same with Jurassic World. Like, if you're not going to release it before Christmas, you're probably waiting until the Super Bowl. So, like, you're going to get that. So,
like for Captain America, yeah,
that could be a big one. If they show him in the Super Bowl trailer with 1 bajillion people watching, and also those things get leaked as well. Like they know when the trailers are coming out as well.
Yeah.
Like they go, oh, you know, not last year, like the Flash trailer is going to be like, he's going to be in the pre-game, and I think like so they'll know when the Fantastic Four trailer is dropping, whether it's halftime. The thing is that it'll probably be early into the thing as well. So that will come out. Same with whenever the Jurassic World one is. So like. Marvel will know. Marvel will know when to drop the thing. They'll try and drop it at the peak, whether it is just before the halftime show or right at the beginning of the thing. Like they'll know exactly when to drop it. Everyone's going to see it, and the big thing is just whether it's. Actually, not. It's not even whether they do. It's how much he's in it.
Yeah,
I kind of want, as DJ Eric once said, like last stream, I think, where he's just a silhouette in the trailer. Like you see the green cape and metal mask, but you don't actually see him.
Well, I think Paige also said that the Iron Man 1?
The Iron Man first teaser trailer is like half of his mask like silhouetted.
I would say, okay, so Harrison here brings up a good point, and I agree with this sometimes, where he's got to be in. I think it would be a better surprise if they definitely left as a teaser with him in it. There's two reasons why this. Go ahead, Paige. I
was going to say, like, we've already announced him for things, so it's not like with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield for No Way Home, where it was like, well, they weren't confirmed, even though it was like leaked without officially leaking and stuff like that. We know he's in Avengers, which is what, the year after. I mean,
yeah. Well, Anthony,
like a shocker.
That's why I prefaced it with like.
But also, it's like we could post the exact same thing. Like, obviously, the guess is around like that screen time thing. Like, how the fuck do you know? Do you have the script? That's the only way you're going to know.
Right.
How much screen time? Like that. If you have the screenplay, then you might know.
So for me, the reason why I prefer for things to be a surprise is I think it does it's better for the movie long term, because after that first weekend, everybody's like, oh my God, Dr. Doom was in Fantastic Four. That means that second weekend is probably going to go through the roof, most likely. But they're up against Superman. Like, they're up against Superman. They're up against Jurassic World.
And
you're right,
don't
Paige.
forget,
yeah.
It's up against Smurfs.
Right. So like Paige said, we already know that Dr. Doom is going to be in the MCU. So the surprise isn't really whether or not he's going to be in the MCU. It's going to be if he shows up in the Fantastic Four movie. So
and people don't
teasing
want
him is okay. Right. I think the era of being surprised in the theaters is kind of gone. I think it takes a lot for you to get surprised at movies. I think the big surprises we're going to see, honestly, are going to be in the big Avengers movies, in Doomsday and Secret Wars. That's when we're going to get.
And also, people don't want to miss out on it. Also, they want their first reaction to be in the theater. So if there's even a hint that he's going to be in the movie, they're going to go watch it. It's why a lot of people went and saw Captain Marvel, because they thought it was going to really tie into Endgame. Because and then he was like, "Well, I don't want to miss out on that." You know, right. I think Captain Marvel still makes a decent amount of money, but it doesn't make $1 billion.
Well, they did. Like, the marketing was right, which is what I think they're going to do with Fantastic Four. I think they're going to get the marketing right for this. So
yeah,
I just from like a fan perspective, like we can talk about the industry stuff all we want. From a fan's perspective, I do hate the idea of him being in the marketing or him playing like a 50-minute role, because it's like I want Fantastic Four to have their time to shine, not everyone like coming out.
And we already have Galactus in it, Darren. Galactus is already in the movie.
That's exciting. So, guess what? No one will give a shit. If Robert's in this movie, no one will give a shit. They simply won't. And I again, like that was kind of the same thing with like Deadpool. Like Deadpool came out that weekend, everyone's so excited. The following day, guess what? Guess what was announced? Robert Downey Jr. Everyone stopped talking about Deadpool, and it's I don't know. I'm okay if it's like a post-credit scene, if at the very end he makes a small thing or whatever, but I don't want him to take over Fantastic Four's movie. You know, I want it to be
for me. He needs to get sprinkled here and there before his actual movie. Like, he needs to be in the cliffhanger, like basically like Kang, how he was like.
Yeah, but that's Kang. No one's fucking heard of Kang. Everyone knows who Dr. Doom is.
Well, like,
if you've had any Marvel experience, like growing up and stuff, whether it's the old Fantastic Four movies or video games or TV shows, like Dr. Doom's been there. You know, it's like you don't have to set up you don't have to set up the Joker. You can just fucking show up and cause chaos if he wants to.
Yeah.
So, like, with this, I think, like, they could do something like you're saying, where it is just an end credits thing, or it's literally a stinger at the end of the movie. But they'll show it in the fucking trailer. They'll show something, a tease to it in the trailer, even if he's only in 2 seconds of the film. Like, they'll make sure you know he's in the film.
Yeah, like, I think the whole reason you do Downey is because you don't have time to set up a new villain, right?
Right.
So you have someone you already know. Audience can be like, oh my gosh, I already have that emotional connection to Downey. I don't have to spend 15 movies setting him up, which is why it's not just like a random dude. It's like it's not just some random guy that we're now having to get introduced to.
I don't think Thanos was like that, like set up. Like basically, he was just smiling. He was there. You saw his presence. That's what I think should happen again with Doom. Like sprinkled, not like make him a main character in the movie, but have him at the very end credit scene, just saying something. Being present.
Now, one of the things I want to segue into from this is how Marvel Rivals is kind of giving DC an idea of what they can do with their properties moving forward, because we know that Marvel Rivals is going to be giving us the Fantastic Four. We know that's happening. And we actually have some footage we're going to look at here in a second. I just want to give a shout out to their art department. This is beautiful. Like the art in this game is absolutely stunning. This is almost, I would say this could be an animated universe. Like they could draw the universe exactly as it's pictured in this in Marvel Rivals, and I think people would love it. I think they would love this. I know I'd watch it. I love these suits. These designs are great. And you know, talking about doing a modern take on Fantastic Four, these suit designs are very modern looking, in my opinion.
What if those are the suits we're going to see in like Secret Wars?
I mean, we might get something like this. Like not exactly like this, but we can
no offense, I'd look arse in real life. I think those
they look like the Avengers suits that they went time traveling in.
That is true. Well, Reed Richards does for sure, 100%. But we're definitely going to get more modern versions. The suits that we have in the Fantastic Four movie that we see now are from their Earth. It's from that retro futuristic world.
Right.
Once they get moved into the main MCU, the suits will change. We don't know how much, but they will. But I wanted to say that this is when James Gunn talked about tying in video games to the DCU. I can't believe that Marvel already had this cooking in the background, because this is literally how we're expect this a lot. They've already said that characters like Sam Wilson and other important characters in the MCU will be coming in Marvel Rivals, most likely as not skins, but as actual characters that they're going to release. And it's going to be to promote stuff. That's why they're coming out right. That's why the Fantastic Four is coming out right now. This is the kind of stuff that DC should be doing. We've talked at lengths about this, but I think we're actually seeing this in action right now. This is exactly what I was talking about. This level of promotion. You guys have any thoughts on that? Do you think this is a good idea for them to do it this way, or do you think it's bad? I mean, what do you think?
I think it's a smart idea.
Yeah, no, it's free marketing for the Marvel and their characters. And again, I've talked about length how much I think Marvel needed some exposure outside of just the MCU. Like, I think Spider-Verse did wonders for them in terms of the Spider-Man character. I think they needed. I think like the Insomniac games also was wonderful for the Spider-Man character, but I think they needed something outside of just Spider-Man, outside of something outside of the MCU to introduce new people to it. And I think this will introduce an entire new set of people to Marvel. They're gonna play this game not as Marvel fans and be like, you know what, this like Mr. Fantastic character is pretty cool actually. What else is he in? And they look up Fantastic Four and like, oh, there's a new movie about him. Okay,
because this is actually reintroducing, like we talked about, like so the Fantastic Four are considered like Marvel's first family, and really the big characters in Marvel in terms of teams at the very beginning. But they've been disconnected from pop culture for a while because that Fan Four Stick movie was awful. It didn't do anything for Fantastic Four. It was detrimental to Fantastic Four. But a lot of comic book fans have wanted to see them for a while. This is making sure that the general public knows who the Fantastic Four are. Mm-hmm. That's what this is. They want to give this out to the general public. Like Darren was saying, they want to play these characters and then go, I want to go see the movie because I want to see what these characters are like in the movie. Mm-hmm. And even if you only get, let's be conservative about the numbers. Even if they only get 5 to 10% of gamers to go out and see the movie, that is a massive benefit for the film. Massive benefit.
And I think the difference a little bit, like I think DC was kind of doing that for a while with Injustice, but I think the double-edged sword of that is I don't think it's a good adaptation of those characters. Like I don't like it's an Elseworld story, and I think that was almost hurting the DC brand, being like, oh, it's so dark, and Superman's a killer, and all the I don't think it helped that. So I think they almost need like another, not Injustice, but almost a thing like Injustice to introduce more people into that world.
And it's not as accessible as this game. This game is very accessible for people.
Anyone can play it. Yeah.
Also, I think it's a nice way of getting the word out. Basically, the kid plays Human Torch and be like, hey, they have a Fantastic Four. Can we go see that one? Basically, you get a fan to watch.
And the game is doing really good because apparently it's like beating Overwatch sometimes in playtime, and they're definitely seeing a strain on numbers for Overwatch, which I thought was quite interesting.
Yeah.
Hold on for a second.
I actually have it downloaded. I just haven't played it yet.
Let's see. Here's
Trying
some more
to get
shots.
back into Fortnite.
Really?
Yeah. Without paying for stuff. because I'm really, really itching my wallet right now.
Something that I really enjoy about the Spider-Verse movies and what I'm seeing here with Marvel Rivals, I don't really play the game. Put it out there. I don't really play the game. I've got it downloaded. I played it a couple times. I'm not a big shooter person, so it's a little bit too much action for me personally. I like more story-driven games, but I think story-driven games for tie-ins to movies and stuff is a bad idea. I think they're a bad idea. They tried it with that Avengers game. They wanted to create a story that people could play in the Avengers game that would rival the MCU, and look what happened to that game. They tried to turn that into a service game. They tried to sell skins and things in it. Nobody cared. There are stories in this game. There's actually some story about Blade in the game as well that I think they talked about releasing Blade in another season, probably because they want to promote the Blade movie when that comes out. So maybe that's what's cooking on the background. But I think games like this leave more room for promotion to products that are coming out sooner, because you can make these kinds of things and add them into an existing game, and you've got immediate promotion for that product. And Paigey, you kind of talked about this a little bit, that you thought that this is the right direction for DC as well. So maybe not necessarily an Overwatch clone, but a game where they can just drop things in before movies and TV shows come out. Didn't you mention something that you were supportive of that idea?
It's just something along these lines. Like, if anything, I think Overwatch is even like, like a medium dive. It's not necessarily like a shallow, like Fortnite is. Like Fortnite anyone can jump in. Like Overwatch is still very much skill thing, and you sort of need a team. You can't really play Overwatch solo, otherwise you're probably going to get murked. Like you need so I don't know what DC could do. Like they're gonna have to do something. I don't agree with the story based thing. I think it's like it's too long. Like games get delayed and stuff. What if you make the story and then it gets delayed? And it's like, hold on, this was meant to come out 2 years ago when the Authority came out. It's meant to tie into that, and also like what story you're putting there, because it has to be a story that's not essential. So because not everyone can afford to pay $100 for a story-based game. So I think I think they should do something like, honestly, almost like a rebranded, updated DC Universe Online, just like an MMO. People can make their own characters, and there's storylines within that thing. And it's almost like a WoW almost, where it's like a campaign or something like that. And you jump in there and you can play it solo, and it's like it's crafted to play solo, or it's crafted to play with a group, whatever it is. But maybe make it a bit more user friendly as well. Like not like so like overly MMORPG, like maybe like a bit more, maybe like a mixture, like a combo sort of thing, like a Gears of War-ish, something but with powers. I don't know. It's hard. I know it'd be hard to come up with the perfect balance and exactly how to put it out there and what to deal with it on a month by month basis.
I do think the promotional thing could even be like, if you make a mistake and you say for example they dropped Fantastic Four now and the movie had to get delayed by 2 months, they could still come up with content to drop later on about the Fantastic Four before the movie comes out, like new skins, new costumes, things like that. They could continue to promote it. Or
they could have stuff that's not related to a movie. They could have like I don't know, like a Daredevil thing or something, or like something that's not necessarily related, or Spider-Man thing. There's no Spider-Man movie coming out, but this is this little fun thing to put out there to keep people at bay for a month. The biggest issue with this Marvel game going forward is just about keeping the player base up, because that's the hardest thing with an online game, is not only making it not frustrating enough where people go, fuck this game, I'm not playing it anymore, but also just the content out there, because it is a free game, so people aren't going to like trade it in or anything like that. People are still going to play because it's free.
Actually think by making it a free game, it has the higher potential to keep player base up, because people aren't paying for a subscription or anything like that. So but anyway, here's the trailer. We're going to watch the trailer and then we'll wrap up our conversation about this. Let's do it.
You have been sheltered by the light for far too long.
I love the animation here.
For darkness to reign. Soon your resolve will begin to crumble You'll be stretched too thin. There will be nowhere left to hide, and your fire will cease to burn. For no light shall survive in my empire of eternal night.
And look at that. So it starts in a couple of days, actually. Yeah, a couple of days it starts. So that season's going to run all the way until the movie releases, probably, or close up to the release of the movie. That's great. I think this is great. Yeah. So any final thoughts on this? Or you guys, you think this is going to help the movie, hurt the movie? I think it's actually going to be a massive. They even have the Herbie the robot there, which I think is quite interesting. So.
No, I think this is healthy. I think this is. I'm curious, like a lot of Marvel stuff this year, so I wonder if come February if they'll add like Sam's Captain America. If what May? I mean, they already have the Winter Soldier, but maybe like a Red Guardian. I don't know who they could possibly add from that movie, but Ghost. I don't know. They could add someone to
Sentry.
There.
They could add Sentry.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Is Daredevil there already?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Him for March 1 or 2.
Yeah. I mean, there's the possibilities are endless, and they did confirm that for characters like Sam Captain America versus Steve Captain America, they are going to be separate characters. They're not going to do a thing where you reskin Captain America with like another version of Captain America. It's just going to be a new character, which I think is really cool. It's a crossover with Castlevania. No, I don't think so.
Well,
but it looks really so.
Will Sam Wilson also have a Falcon suit?
I don't know.
Because that would be another character.
I actually think that the Joaquin character will probably end up having a Falcon suit. So,
and you can market those characters for the
that's most likely what's going to happen. I mean, they may eventually add like Sam Wilson as Falcon in it, but it would be a really bad time to do that now, like leading into the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, let's talk about the next thing, which is that James Gunn confirms Creature Commandos finale has a post-credit scene. Thoughts on this? The excitement is just it's so energetic. The excitement is so energetic there.
Well, I guess it depends how it ends. Would be my big thing. Like, I just got done with my stream with the crew I was talking with, and we're kind of thinking like worst case scenario, like end of the world type shit. Like those theories have been getting thrown around, and it's like
everyone dies apparently.
Yeah, like we've thrown those ideas out. I mean, I would imagine it probably for Creature Commandos, although maybe it actually would be kind of cool if they had like an animated Superman there at the end or something to just show like it going into live action. Mm-hmm. Or actually that would be cool, seeing like we see an animated Superman slowly transition into live action at the end there, showing that it's all the same kind of thing. That could be cool.
Mm-hmm. I saw what you sent me, Darren, just now. We'll look at that in just a bit. Thank you for dropping that in the private
Do you
chat.
want me to dive into the ultimate crackpot theory
about this?
Yeah.
All right. Wait. Is this your crackpot theory, or is this something that you saw on social media?
Mine. I don't think anyone. Okay. Maybe someone's.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get into it then. Go ahead.
I could easily see Gunn doing it. It's just about whether it hits right and whether he wants to necessarily show this stuff first, or if it even is even meant to be in the movie later this year. But if they show like Rick Flag just in live action, just simply Rick Flag in live action talking maybe to Amanda Waller, I'm not too sure, but it's just him in live action. And they mentioned Superman. Like they mentioned something like what he's going to be doing in the context of his role in that film.
I got my theory. I got my theory too, but go ahead.
The only other option is that it's very much like what we saw at the Suicide Squad, and there's a character they think that dies, and that turns out they're alive. My bet would be G.I. Robot. You see G.I. Robot activate again.
Good idea. Again, I'm so curious because it's like, I don't know how they can possibly wrap it up. In 20 minutes.
It's a very undercooked show, but I think that's something that they'll definitely address in season 2. And I'll live by the theory because I know it's right. This is 100% written to be a film. The longer the show's gone on, you can just sense it's like this was meant to be a movie.
Mhm.
The short time frame of the actual period and everything like that.
No, wait, you mean like an animated movie or a
Just a
feature?
movie in general, just a movie.
Okay.
Like when he wrote the script, it was meant to be a movie, and he's rewritten it to be a show. So I think in season 2 it's going to be a much cleaner show, but it's definitely an undercooked show at the moment. And like, it doesn't feel like you're actually at a finale. It feels like maybe at a mid-season point or something, just because everything's moved. It's weird. It's moved somewhat fast, but also incredibly slow at the same time. It's actually this weird combo with the show. But yeah,
would you say it's like part 1? It feels like a part 1 of a bigger story.
No, it just feels like half the story.
Yeah, I agree.
So part 1.
No, not even part 1. It just feels like half a story. Like part 1 is intentionally part 1. Like this just feels like it's half the thing.
Yeah, I wonder if they made them both at once. If they did, because DC does that a lot. They did that with My Adventures with Harley Quinn, where they make them both at once. It's kind of one long thing, and they split it up. Just on my thing, Taz kind of theorized, like, what if it's this year? Like, what if it's already completely done and they drop it like towards the end of the year or something?
I don't know if it'd be completely done, but I think the fact that they have the animation style on lock, they know exactly what the characters are meant to be and everything like that. Because even if you look at the original artwork for the show, it looks different than the final artwork that you get in the show. Like the concept art is different, but the character designs are for the most part the same, but it's still different at the same time. Yeah, but that was written in. I think that was written in specifically to fit the form.
Yeah.
Like also because it also feels like very like we'll talk about it last week. Like what every character has a fucking soppy backstory that made them a villain. Like almost feels like it's intentional. You know,
Defunct says here, I guess his response to you, considering the episodes have tended to focus on one character, I don't think the script was written as a film. What do you think about that?
Well, that's what I was replying to then. Like,
okay.
I think that was put in because it was turned into a show.
Yeah, and like, I don't think it's even 100% always warranted for some of these characters. Like, I think some are for sure, but like, yeah, you definitely trim it down. And I think what you said a couple weeks ago, Paige, I couldn't stop thinking about it, where the main plot doesn't move like most of these episodes. They're kind of like filling in the plot with the backstory. So if you cut off the backstory, it's like a 50-minute movie. It really is. So
yeah, and I think like the only ones where I think a soppy backstory works is the bride, because she was forced to come alive. It's like she was dead. Like she was forced to come alive. And I think we haven't seen it yet. We'll see in a couple of days, but arguably Nina Mazursky. They're the only two. Like, why does Weasel have it? Just make Weasel this unknown thing. Like, you don't have to. They added it in there. The thing is, it's very good for Gunn because people ate it up. But for me, I was sitting there like, does this need to happen? Like, I'm just like, why is this character got to?
I thought about this after we saw the Weasel episode. I didn't bring it up on the stream because it took me a couple of days to sort of put it all together. But Weasel, we were watching that from the perspective of Weasel.
Yeah.
And it's like, so we're supposed to feel sympathetic for him when he can't communicate any of that to anybody else. All the other characters could tell you their backstory if they wanted. They could completely trauma dump on you, right? But Weasel can't. So now at every turn, we're going to think about Weasel's backstory, knowing that he can't tell anybody anything unless they somehow magically make it so that Weasel is able to communicate telepathically or something like that. It feels like such a fucked up thing to do with a character, to be honest.
Yeah. I've gained the ability to speak. Why?
Well, because he doesn't have dialogue. He doesn't seem to be able to even, like, how do I put this? He doesn't seem to be able to even draw
he can't
things
convey anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he has no way of talking to anyone, not even other animals.
My biggest issue is that, and it's used as a bit of a cheat code in the animation, but when you see him in the Suicide Squad, he doesn't convey any emotion outside of bugged out, like as if like he's on some sort of like crazy drug. But in the show, his eyes are always changing. He's making these different noises and stuff. I'm like, why does that none of that? Like, which obviously is because it was changed after the fact, because it's gotten changed. Oh shit! Just almost fucking flung my microphone off my desk. He's obviously changed the character going into this show. Like, it's not the same character. Like, this backstory wasn't there for the Suicide Squad, clearly. But that's the changes when you go from live action to animation.
Eric Z, I'm not saying that it's not something that can be used in the narrative. Like, I understand why it exists there, but from the standpoint of everybody else that Weasel interacts with, he's not really a character. You know what I'm saying? He's just there. He exists with this group of people.
I mean, I don't really care too much about the fact that he can't convey it because it's like, I mean, I don't think
But he can't convey anything. That's what I'm saying. He has no relationship with anybody.
Yeah, I understand that, but I think that's the same thing where like the character is obviously meant to be in there, almost like a Groot type character where he just makes like a noise or he says, "I am Groot."
But even Groot has a conscious understanding of things that are being said to him. You know what I mean? Like Groot can communicate, even though it's just one word. Like Weasel just has no, like I don't even know if he understands what he's doing at any given time.
Yeah, like he's like, yeah, like does he even understand English? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's actually been one of my favorite parts of the season, just to be contrary here. Like, I loved his episode. He was my favorite flashback. And I really loved him. I don't know if we're talking spoilers here. I guess
yeah, you can do spoilers.
Like, slight spoilers. But, like, I really loved his moment there, like, with like the wolves. And, like, I thought I
was about to mention that. I think that was the best thing with his character. I didn't really care about his backstory at all because I knew it was, like, manufactured and everything. And it was just sort of to fall in line with other aspects of the show where like Bride has a backstory, G.I. Robot has a backstory, blah blah blah. But that bit with the wolves, I was like, that's good. And guess what?
That's really good, yeah.
Zero dialogue. You didn't need someone going, oh, he did this, that, and the other. You just it felt natural. And he actually he's a monster, but he doesn't fit in with the other monsters. He fits in with these creatures.
Right. Yeah, and there's this
cute title card, Creature Commandos, by the way. James Gunham.
Well, I want to point out by saying that I don't mind what James is doing with Weasel as an individual character. My issue is we don't know if Weasel was doing it because he's a good person. I don't. That wasn't conveyed to me. Why did he save the children? Because they were treating him nice, or was he actually worried about their safety? You know what I mean? Like we don't understand any of his motivations for anything because he's being portrayed like an animal. Like he's just, there's no, without dialogue, I look at him like, not even Scooby-Doo, because even Scooby-Doo seems more conscious of the world around him than Weasel does. I don't know how to feel about the character. Maybe that makes me a weirdo. I don't know. But I think of him as an animal, like a pet. And that's not the way I want to think about a character that's supposed to be part of a team of other individuals that have consciousness. You know what I mean? He's like an animal, but I don't think we're supposed to see him that way. I think we are supposed to see humanity in him, but I don't understand what that humanity is.
It's kind of funny. It kind of reminds me of the dog in Sonic, where the dog, barks. He's not like a main character, but you get him humanized for some reason. Like,
and what? Wait, what were you saying? What was the first part you cut out for me?
Oh, sorry. I'm like, even the dog in Sonic, he got humanized in the third one, where he's like, "You stole my humans."
I mean, I think what I like about him is kind of what he stands for, and I think this is kind of like the idea of like the government's kind of hold on the team, and just this like he can't talk, he can't speak, and that got kind of dives into like the injustice in the world, where like yes, he can't speak, but also that means he has no rights. They can do anything to him. He has no, like, everyone else on the team can say, hey, no, I don't want to do this. They can say it. They're not going to listen, but like they can at least try and speak out against this. He has no rights at all. Like, he can't speak up against himself. Be like, hey guys, I didn't kill these kids. That wasn't me. And I think that makes him tragic. I think that makes him very not relatable, but like kind of to the times in a way where
yes, but I do have some questions about him. Okay. And one of them is, who's representing him and why? Yeah. Who? Because they had that lawyer there representing him as a client.
Sure.
But he's not technically a person. You know what I mean? Like, there's no identity. Was he a person that turned into an animal?
Right.
Or is he like, how does that even work?
Yeah, but then again, it is this DCU where, like, I mean,
but he's not classified as human, though. That's how he ended up in this program.
Yeah, I know, but like that G.I. Robot got locked up as well, and he's a fucking robot.
Right, but he was locked up. He wasn't represented as being innocent of something, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, he probably admitted it. He was like, yeah, fucking shut up those Nazis. It felt really good.
Right. But what I'm saying, though, is that, okay, so look at all the characters here. Like, Bride, I get it. I understand everything she's going through, and she can convey all of it. And we saw in this week's episode what was going on with her. Nina, we're still waiting to see what Nina's story is, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be understandable. Frankenstein, total psychopath, but we understand why he's doing what he's doing. Dr. Phosphorus, again, we got that backstory. GI Robot is a robot. There doesn't seem to be a lot of sentience with him. I know they tried to make it seem like there was, but I really don't think there is. I think he literally was programmed to do what he does, and that's what he is as a character. I don't care about Rick Flag. So we have Weasel left.
I don't think anyone cares about Rick Flag, to be completely honest.
I need to understand more about Weasel, because right now, think about this. Say, for example, later on, we find out that Weasel was a human being that was turned into this.
But I think that's
that changes the entire backstory with the kids.
I think that's the thing when you have season 2, because they still have a lot of lost time with the bride. Where the fuck was she? You know, we saw that time thing, but
yeah,
you know, there's a lot there. We don't know necessarily what they're going to do with Nina Mazursky. That's coming up this week's episode and stuff. But like, they could do some stuff with Dr. Phosphorus when he's still doing his stuff in Gotham before he got.
No, I get that. What I'm saying though is,
and
how
also,
would you feel about
Well, I was going to say that's hypothetically if we're sticking with the same thing.
Yeah.
We could easily, like, one of the stingers for the end of the show could be a completely new team.
Yes, possibly.
Or one person sticks around. Like maybe it's just Weasel that sticks around. Or
but my issue with Weasel is we don't know if Weasel was a person first or just an animal. We don't know that. Right. For me, that matters as a viewer because it will change my perspective on the character. If I find out that Weasel was a human that was changed into this creature and he's been stuck in this body, and that's why things are the way they are, I might connect with the character in a different way. If it's just an animal that is slightly more intelligent than another, and I don't even know if he's slightly more intelligent, maybe just different than other animals or whatever, that would change my perspective on what he did, because then I would know he saved the kids because the kids treated him nice and not because he's got a moral reason. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for some sort of moral compass.
So kind of like Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah,
where
like
he was an animal.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, and I think all of that is just to further the point that they need longer episodes.
They do,
like,
100%.
I really love what they're doing this season, but I need more from everyone on board. Like, just simply not enough.
And,
Go ahead, Pidgey.
I was going to say, like, they've got to figure out the balance in season 2. They've got to figure out if they're going to do flashbacks, do an entire episode. But don't bounce back and forth. There's not enough time in 20 minutes, especially when you include like that 30-second intro and an outro. There's not enough time. Like the show feels, as I said before, feels so undercooked, and there's potential there. But I think the show as a whole is just okay. I haven't been like I think there's a lot of glazing with it, but I'd rather people glaze than fucking hate on it for no reason.
Yeah.
So I'm to a degree I'm okay with the glazing, because I'd rather you glaze it than say there's nothing good with the show. Because I think the only overly weak episode is the first episode. I think every episode after the first
I'm actually enjoying the show. I wish the show were longer. I like.
It just needs to be longer. It
just
needs,
yeah.
It just needs an extra, even 5 minutes. But like, I'd like to think that they might be able to get up to like minimum 25, but at least like on average, maybe like
you could watch the whole episode on TikTok. I mean, that's how short it is. You could literally watch the whole episode in a TikTok.
Well, the thing is, I think a lot of people are. I think they're watching it through TikTok and YouTube reactions, because I don't think the show's got a lot of viewers on HBO Max, unfortunately. But that might change with season 2. But I just think they need, what is it, 7 episodes? I'd like season 2 to have 10 to 13, and maybe the episodes just on average like 4 to 5 minutes longer. Because as I said, it just as soon as you're getting into an episode, it ends.
I was gonna say, if Darren's right and they did film all of this like at one time, it's possible they're not going to learn anything from the criticism about episode length or season length.
Season 3,
we won't see any changes until after season 2, probably.
I also just want to put it out there, just a theory I have. I would not be shocked if Weasel dies next week. Like, from what we saw from him this week, this idea that like he kind of wants to stay like with the Wolves, but he chose to join his team, and I think that might be his downfall. And it's like, oh, he should have stayed with the Wolves because he died on this mission.
I also thought that maybe the Wolves will come to help him during the final battle, like they'll come out and help him or something. With Rick Flag, so before we move on from this topic, and we do have 2 super chats we're going to look at. I think the end credit scene is going to be Rick Flag dyeing his hair.
That'd be hilarious.
He's going to be him dyeing his hair, because then everybody will shut up. They'll be like, "Oh, wait, hold on, he dyed his hair. I guess we can't complain about this anymore."
Like, oh.
The only other thing I can think of is they don't set up Superman with it; they set up Peacemaker season 2.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned that.
Maybe Waller mentions that Peacemaker killed his son.
Yeah, I think
he finds a file of it or something like that.
Yeah,
because Rick in Peacemaker, right?
He's in Peacemaker season 2. Yeah, as like a I think like a recurring character.
Actually, very quickly, we don't have to go into detail why. We'll just run down the line, except for 3Dub because 3Dub's not watching. What's been your favorite origin so far? Mine probably has been I don't even know if it's totally origins because we're just seeing backstory. It's not like necessarily where they came from. I would say my favorite like introduction to a character in terms of like where they came from would have been the Bride. I think the Bride was my favorite introduction. Anybody have? I know Darren,
Like in
you
regards to
Weasel, right?
like a focused episode.
Yeah, like the focused episode. I think the Bride was my favorite.
I'd say yes in regards to, I think, because even the present day thing related to her a lot as well. So I'd say the Bride episode, because even in the present day you're bouncing to her in the castle. So I'd say yeah, probably the Bride. But I have a feeling the Ninja Mazursky one this week might be decent. The only issue that goes against that is the fact it's a fucking season finale. So they're going to wrap up the present day stuff. So I feel like she's going to get undercut as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bride is probably like the most. Like, I think she got the most to work with. She's almost the main character of the show. I know we just kind of like roasted him the whole time, but I really did like the Weasel episode.
I was going to say you're probably going to say the Weasel episode. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I think I don't know, that I think got me. Like, I think the whole thing of just like him not being able to speak, I think is what was so tragic about it. Is like he couldn't speak out, he couldn't stop what was happening. I thought was very powerful.
I also thought, not to go back on that too much, but when he was running out of the burning school and they were shooting at him at that point, that was probably the single most powerful scene in the entire series.
Probably one of the, I think this week's episode with what they did with Fosterus and that is some of the darkest things I've seen from like a DC show or movie or stuff like that.
Welcome to the DCU, everybody. Welcome to the DCU. Yeah.
Which is really funny because going into this DC universe, everyone was saying, oh, it's going to be all jokes and silly times and fun things done. And then he's given us, I'd argue, way darker than anything the like DCEU has ever done up until this point.
All right, so we're gonna do these 2 super chats here, which by the way, let me check and see where we're at because I know we're coming up on the time crunch.
Oh, by the way, I have to ask.
Yeah, just go ahead and cut me off. Go for it. Go ahead and ask.
Did he freeze?
No, he just realized that he was cutting me off from doing something.
What happened? Am I the only one that froze, or did everyone freeze?
Yeah, right. Sure.
No. Okay, quickly, because I'm back here now.
Okay,
you
go
all
ahead.
froze, so I wasn't going to keep talking.
Yeah, go for it.
Did anyone think in that Frankenstein episode the woman that helped recover him was the same one that texted him after
that
episode? And then he fucking kills her?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I was like really confused. So I don't know. Maybe
like I said, he is 100% a psychopath. He's crazy. In every sense of the word.
I think he's the best character on the show. Maybe
well, he's the most dynamic character on the show.
Well, I think David Harbour does a really good thing with just the voice and stuff. Like some of the stuff isn't that well written, like in regards to like, oh, it should be that funny. But he'll say it in a really funny way.
Having any of these characters, look, I just put this out there, having any of these characters other than like Rick Flag show up in live action is going to be ridiculous. Like, how are you going to make these characters work in a film based on the stuff that we've seen them do in this cartoon? Like the amount of like, it has to be a rated R movie, 100%. There's just no way. Because think about this, you bring Frankenstein and the Bride into it. Say, for example, they survive and you bring them in. Are they going to stop being violent all of a sudden?
To be honest, I don't see them coming into live action anyway. I think the only one you might see is Dr. Phosphorus, maybe, and that's if they do Batman. And even
I think Nina might show up in live action.
What? Where?
Honestly. If they do like a Aquaman movie or something like that, I think
Cersei. I think Cersei will definitely.
Yeah, but then again, that's human. Like, and even then, like that's magic. She can just not do anything overly lethal. Like,
I mean, we've already seen Weasel. I don't really count Weasel. We've already seen Weasel in live action, but I just like GI Robot would never show up in a live action movie.
Well, I think it's easy. If they get shot, they don't get shot in the head, and the head doesn't explode. They get shot in the leg or something. There's a minor blood.
Bob the Always. Indira Varma in that outfit would be like love fire. Yeah. 3Dub, do you have to jump off? You said you had to go.
Yeah.
So okay. All right. Well, thanks for stopping in, 3Dub, and stay warm. I know you're cold like the rest of us. I'm sure Darren's really cold up there in Ohio. So stay warm.
32 degrees right now.
We'll see you later. All right.
Bye.
All right, so we got some super chats here. Naruto with a $5 super chat. I just watched Squid Game season 2 over the past few days. Oh man, you wasted your time, I bet. I didn't know they filmed season 2 and 3 back to back with 3 planned as the end. Yeah, so I haven't watched season 2 yet, but I have heard so many people say it's not good.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard the opposite.
Did you?
I heard people.
I hope who you heard are the right people, because we're watching it this week. So
I don't watch the show, so I can't say. I've heard people liked it.
I've seen people saying that it's just not as good than the first season. They
Yeah.
take too long to get to the point, and that always annoys me. We're watching another show called Silo on Apple TV, and this season has been painful. It's not a bad season, but it's been painful. I do not have patience with stuff that is obviously drawn out. I'm not talking about stuff that feels short, like Creature Commandos, where you want more. I mean stuff where you can clearly see that the writers were padding the episodes for time. And we've seen that in a lot of the CW shows where stuff goes on longer than it has to because you need to reach a certain point. In Silo, I don't know if anybody else is watching, I'm not going to spoil it. But in Silo this season, there's a lot of moments where they're doing stuff within the show, and you can clearly see that the writers just needed to flesh out more stuff in the episode, and it comes out like wasting time. So I've heard that about Squid Game.
Netflix is really good about like shows that aren't supposed to get multiple seasons getting multiple seasons. I feel like Squid Games is one of those.
Yep.
So
well, it was such a huge hit, and the premise is so workable and different stuff. So they just want to, take advantage of that. Naruto with the $2 super chat as well, saying the season villain is Dracula. So talking about Fantastic Four. So there we go. Naruto is the MVP, you guys. We are almost halfway to the goal, and it's all Naruto super chat. So thank you so much, Naruto. We need 6 more to reach the bonus stream. We're at 27 minutes left on the funding goal. If we hit it, or bonus topics, whatever you guys pick in the poll. If we stay live long enough, I will extend it out a little bit if people want to donate to try and reach it. But we're like 30 minutes away from ending that. But thank you guys so much for all your support.
There was a very big question asked on the DJ Eric subreddit.
There's one of those. Okay.
Did you end up watching Wicked?
Yes. Yeah, I've watched Wicked.
Did you watch it at home or at the movies?
At home.
Did you like it?
I thought it was good. I couldn't get tickets in theaters. It was just I was never able to get good seats. Like for the 3 weeks that I wanted to go see it, it was just always busy.
I think you had to watch it.
But I'm okay with that because I want movies to do well. So I'm happy that it did so well that I couldn't find seats. I'd love to have seen it, but I'm a big fan of cinema. So
it's
did you say
that the surround sound is like insanely beautiful?
Did you see the movies, Darren?
What's that?
Did you see Wicked at the movies?
Yes. Like with the surround sound, it's beautiful. Like it's
like
that final defying gravity is like I feel like I almost cried a little bit just because it is so powerful. Like with all the with all the sound and stuff like that. It's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But
it was good. Yeah, like I can understand why. I don't like the concept of it, like the actual just like the fact that it exists, but I like the movie because I hate because it's fan fiction at the end of the day, and apparently the original book is ass as well. So I was like, how the hell did it turn into this like decent product?
Yeah, Maestro says G.I. Robot can show up. It's a Sergeant Rock movie you're talking about. Yeah, I mean that's a pretty good place for it. I don't even know. Look, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't think that movie's even going to happen personally, but we'll see.
I think it happens because I think it's going to be cheap. It probably cost like $50 million to make. So
maybe, but like all these like, oh, we're going to make it because it's cheap. I don't want that. I want them to make movies that people want to see.
At the end of the day, like I think that's like Gunn keeps saying like it's about. I think at the end of the day, it's making stuff so it has the biggest chance to make money.
Yeah, but as a fan, I'm not like excited to go see a Sergeant Rock.
Oh yeah, I'm in the same boat as well. I don't care. Like if I couldn't care if it existed or not.
Yeah, I think not to get back into that conversation because I know we've been there before, but I kind of think that might be the future of DC is these like very different tones, very different style, very genre movies. Like Clayface is going to be a different genre than Superman. Superman's going to be different than Sergeant Rock.
If Clayface does well financially, I expect a lot of movies like that. If it ends up being a financial benefit for DC, I expect to see a lot of movies like that. 100%.
Which, to be fair, isn't even the worst option. At least for now, trying to like salvage like getting.
I would
money
take
back.
street level, like Batgirl. They could have released Batgirl,
Yeah, but,
street level
like,
movie with like a smaller budget.
I think a little bit of that though is like the, not to say there is one, but like the like superhero fatigue thing where it's like not everyone wants to see a superhero movie, so why make comic book movies that aren't necessarily always superhero movies? So I think that Sergeant Rock one is a great example of that, where that's not a superhero movie. That's a war movie.
But even then, street level doesn't mean cheap because you still have to block streets. You still have to like film in metropolitan areas. Like that Daredevil Born Again, I highly doubt that show was cheap at all because they're filming in fucking New York. Probably like that. Like, and even if like you're filming like Toronto and stuff, you're still racking up a decent price to film in those like city, like metropolitan areas. So like something like Sergeant Rock, where they'd be filming in, I mean, they could film anywhere. They could
Really, yeah, they could film in the middle of the woods somewhere. It doesn't really matter.
No, like not just in like the middle of the woods in America. They can film in fucking Georgia, like the country of Georgia, in the middle of a woods, Lithuania, and it'd cost them like shekels or shecklings. Like it'd cost them nothing to go film there, and then they make a big.
I will, but I'm never going to pretend as a fan of comic books to be excited about something that I find so utterly boring. And Sergeant Rock to me sounds absolutely boring, but it's okay if they want to make that for people that want to see it. However, where I put my foot down is I don't want them to stop making the stuff that I love because they want to make cheap movies. So there has to be a compromise. If you want to put 3 movies out a year and 2 of them are cheap, then give me a good one that I want to see that might cost a little bit more during that time period. I'm okay with that because not everything is going to hit for everyone. I understand that. I'm not delusional about that at all. But I don't want to lose out on stuff.
Would you watch an Azrael, like like Batman character?
Yes, 100%.
Would you watch a movie with a soundtrack by Limp Bizkit? Would you really be into that?
No, I would absolutely boycott the movie if there's a Limp Bizkit soundtrack. 100%.
Really?
100%. Yeah.
Sounds like a lie.
You have a fascination with Limp Bizkit. I do not. That's why
you look so much like Fred Durst.
I do not look like Fred Durst. Like, just because I have a beard and I'm a white person does not make me looking like Fred Durst.
I like how you ignore the fact you wear a hat. Like,
well, I could easily go get one of the hats that you don't like and put that on instead of like,
what are those ones? Like, I love the fedora.
Like the page boy hats that you hate so much.
What are they like? What are those? I can't.
The page boy hats. You don't know what a page boy hat is?
No, describe it.
It's the flat caps that look like they're like.
Oh, as if you're about to go down to like a cockfight or something like that, like in the 1920s.
Yes, they're called page boy hats.
Yeah, I don't like that hat. Yeah, stick with.
Well, I was going to say, so I could easily go put that on if you'd prefer that. I could go do that.
Please don't. Not a threat, Eric.
Could be. Grayified X. I see your super chat. We'll look at it in just a moment after we get through this video. It's funny. Okay, so this is a clip from obviously Comic Book, which by the way, Comic Book fired like most of their. Oh God, what? You always stop me with something stupid. So go ahead and say.
Well, Jason has a really important question in the chat.
I don't care about that. So we're gonna get back to the video here. Comic Book fired like a bunch of their staff, or did not like extend contracts with a bunch of people. So there's a lot of people now working for Comic Book that are like, no offense to this Chris Killian guy, because I don't know if he was part of the OG team or whatever, but like Brandon Davis and a lot of other people that work for this company are gone because they became.
I think they shut down their studio as well. Like they might have done that a while ago or something like that. So a lot of them were filming just in their house. Like that would just like his Zoom call sort of thing.
Yeah. So a lot of their interviews are like this now, where they used to actually go and physically be there with the actors. They don't really do that anymore. It's mostly like mobile stuff. Anyway, he's talking to Alan Ritchson here. A lot of people believe that this is Alan sort of teasing that he's going to be Batman by not answering the question in a certain way, because they say this feels a lot like the Andrew Garfield stuff. A lot of the other actors that have been cast in roles that are trying to hide it. I'm going to play this, and then the chat, you have to suss out whether or not you think this is him teasing being Batman. So here we go. Why is it not playing the audio?
To say I'm Batman.
Here we go.
For no reason at all. I was just curious if I could challenge you to say I'm Batman.
I would love. Look, I mean, as huge as this rumor mill is, I feel like this part should be offered on a silver platter at this point. I would love to play Batman, but I'm not yet Batman. I don't know what Gunn's approach is going to be. But yeah, that'd be great. He's one of the most iconic characters of all time.
Okay, so a lot of people were saying that his nervous behavior in this is him sort of like giving away that he's had conversations about it. What are your thoughts on this, everyone? And I want the chat to chime in as well.
I think it's, if anything, it's probably more like not wanting to jinx it, even if there was a slight thing. I don't think. I think if that was the case, they probably asked this to be removed. If there was any sort of, like, his publicist would have gone, "Hold on, hasta la vista, baby," cutting that out of the interview. I don't think. I think it's more him not wanting to jinx it. You don't want to say like, "Oh yeah, like I like the, blah blah blah," because it's pretty rare that works out. Like, I think people are just trying to catch onto it because of the Momoa thing, but the Momoa thing was like a once, one in like a 5,000 million chance that like it was like the only, like we said last week, if Momoa didn't want to play Lobo would not be coming to the DCU. The only reason he's coming to the DCU and coming at all, sus, but going to be in there at all, is because Momoa wants to play him.
Yeah,
like that's the only reason. So I think that's why he get away with like him like teasing the whole thing. Oh, people thought I was going to play Lobo. Like, I thought I'd play Lobo and stuff. So he just doesn't want to jinx it. He doesn't want to, like, he'd be putting a curse on himself, and all of a sudden we got to deal with that Brandon Sklenner fucking. That's arguably one of the worst fan castings I've ever seen. I looked up the guy. I'm like, what do people see in this? I don't see it at all in regards to Bruce Wayne. I feel like it's like a gaslighting thing. It's like, oh no, he's really good. I'm like, is he? Like,
if he was Batman, would be the only actor to play 3 different DC heroes.
Yeah,
I think so.
What was he? Hawk? No,
Hawk and
Hawk.
Aquaman.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been vocal about like I'd rather him come back as Aquaman because I think he looks more like Aquaman now than he did like back then.
Yeah, like he'll go from Aquaman to Hawk, and from Hawk to Batman. Like, it's pretty crazy. Yeah. Like that reference there.
I will say, like, back like in the Creature Commandos thing when we saw that Batman, I was like, he looks like he could fit that suit, like that very buff Batman. I think if he dyes his hair, he could. Like, I don't see it yet. I don't see him like, yeah, that's Batman. But I could see him convincing me that he's Batman. He
looks like he'd be the stunt man for Batman in the suit. He doesn't look. I don't see him as Bruce Wayne. I think you have to cast both of those very equally.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he. But then again, you can't go for some like odd, like unorthodox Bruce Wayne, because that's what Pattinson's one is. You can't just do that. Like,
yeah.
I think they got to cast someone who's like very 50-50 in regards to plays Bruce Wayne really well and is like very menacing and stuff as Batman, and also can play into that fantastical aspect that you'd hope that they would do in the DCU.
Yeah, and also, like, I think a part of Batman is also just like, you see Bruce Wayne, you don't automatically just see Batman. I see this man, I'd be like, you look like a superhero. Like the whole time you're watching Reacher, like, you're just a superhero, right? So I feel like
I wonder if they would go for like some sort of like very like a light-hearted actor almost, which seems weird, but Gunn could go for really like random Batman casting that really works, and you really cast it for the Bruce Wayne to almost play like opposite ends. Like, you have this dark, brooding character of Batman that goes out and does all this stuff, but then when he is Bruce Wayne, he's a completely different, or at least it can put on that facade in a public setting. Like, I think Christian Bale was always really good at it in those Nolan movies and stuff. Though I didn't like his Batman, but I always thought his Bruce Wayne was pretty solid. So, like, it'd be interesting to see who they could. I'm trying to think. I don't like playing into the fan cast things. Like, that's the only reason I sort of like. I don't turn a blind eye to that Glenn Powell casting just because he's someone that could do it. But at the same time, I think he's an awful casting for Batman, like Batman, like that side.
He played Bruce, yeah.
He played Bruce really well in like.
You need that perfect person that can pull off both of those roles.
Yeah, and like with a click of the finger, and you can tell that like the Bruce Wayne side is the facade. So obviously you need like a decent actor there, but it's not an easy casting. It's not as simple.
No. Not for this, obviously, but it does make me sad we never got to see like Warren Christie really play Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
I feel like one of the only people where I'm like, that just looks like Bruce Wayne. That looks like it just looks like him, like a page for page. And it sucks he never got to like do anything with that.
Yeah. So Grayified here says, "What the fuck have you seen how they transform Colin Farrell into Penguin? You don't think they can make Alan Ritchson Batman? All he needs is hair dye."
He can do it. He 100% can do it. I need him to convince me a little bit. Like if I saw Colin Farrell, if you just pulled up his thing and say, "Hey, do you think he should be the Penguin?" I'd be like, "I don't think so. I don't see it." But they made us believe that he can be that guy. So I think
after
it's the same
3 hours in a makeup chair every morning, though, like I think it's a bit different with like comparing Colin Farrell into the Penguin into Alan Richardson, which should, fair enough, chuck on some hair dye. But at the end of the day, like it's also other aspects.
All right, so we have another super chat here, actually from Grayified X, and he's asking, or they are asking, whether or not there is a model of the new Onyx Center from Skeleton Crew episode 6 without the armor. So are we all caught up with that show? Is everybody?
No, I haven't watched last week's episode yet.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I'm going to watch both of them tomorrow when the new one comes out.
Okay, so there is a shot of the ship without the armor that a lot of people are excited about. You'll see it too, Paigey, and you can tell me what you think about it when you see it in the episode. But I actually think the ship looks really good without the armor. But now the question is, like, when they put all the armor on it, did they not realize how they were taking the swag out of it? I mean, you got to be swaggy a little bit with your ships. I don't think there's any model yet, but I guess we'll have to. I'm assuming there will be something. I wouldn't be surprised if Lego releases a model of it first. But thank you for your super chat. I do appreciate it. Anyway, so that puts us at 5 out of 10 towards the goal. Thank you guys so much. We have 12 minutes left if you guys want to donate, and whatever you guys select in the poll will be the bonus for reaching that tip goal. All right, got a few more topics to talk about. This one might be interesting to Paigey. Will Smith shares cryptic post seemingly teasing a Matrix reboot where he'll star as Neo. Did you see this, Paigey? What do you think about this? In 1997, the Wachowskis offered Will Smith the role of Neo in The Matrix. Smith turned it down. He chose Wild Wild West, believing it was a better fit for him at the time. But the question remains, what would The Matrix have been like with Will Smith as Neo? And the response is, wake up, Will. And this was shared by Will Smith.
This might have been after like Jada had a go at him and he sort of crashed out a bit online, though. That potentially could be what's happened here, Eric.
I don't want to burst people's bubbles, but I have a feeling it's probably a Super Bowl ad.
So you think that there's going to be like Will Smith playing Neo in a Super Bowl ad?
Yeah, I think it's marketing for
okay, well, here's the thing. What product?
That's a good point.
A Dorito? Like a Dorito
VR.
Calvin here says, think they said teasing music. So is it a Matrix song?
Oh, sequel to Wild Wild West, the song?
But the Wild Wild Matrix instead.
Chicka red.
Does that roll off the tongue, Paigey? What if it's got Fred Durst in it with him? Like it's him and Fred Durst.
What if they bring back Cisco? He was in the Wild Wild West song. He was like,
funny enough. So last night, no, was it last night? I think it was last night. I was working and I mixed in the thong song, and the girls on the floor, I heard them say it as it was mixing in. They're like, oh my fucking God, I think he's about to play the thong song right before it came on.
It's your secret weapon, Eric. It's a secret weapon. It's you always got to have it in your arsenal. It's like, do I? When things are dying down and people are going, oh, this fucking DJ sucks, whip out the thong song. Just like, when you need to sort of like clear the dance floor, break stuff comes on, and you turn your hat backwards.
Oh, okay. Is that how that works?
Yeah, and you go Fred Durst activation.
Paigey, I got a game that you might want to play. Are you ready for this one?
Is this all reference or
a virtual reality game based on Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon?
I'm not going to lie. I just say this is true from this first show. I thought they said Rebel Goon, and then I saw the VR stuff. That's why I was a bit turned off in the beginning.
I believe that Netflix. This is probably one of the biggest strategic failures they've ever made. They went so deep into like this Zack Snyder stuff. They were bought and sold by the Snyder fans that they were going to show up for this, and they didn't, and it didn't do well at all, critically
because they did that. Wasn't there like an animated sequel, animated like spin-off or something? And then there was also a game
and a comic book. There was a comic book as well.
Yeah, and now there's another VR game as well. Like I mean, but Jesus Christ, like, I mean, and I don't even think like either Zach's like I don't even know if Zack Snyder's the one doing the pitching. He might have like some lawyer that goes in for him and just goes, "This is what's going to happen. It's going to be so successful. It's going to be huge." Like that, something like that happens.
Yeah.
Oh my! I don't even know what's a big like a big L. Is there a big L like of recent memory in regards
in
to
terms of like a release for? I mean, you could count the Sony movies, but the Sony movies didn't have all these tie-ins.
Yeah, but even then, like Venom at least was successful. Like they have 3
Yes,
decent
that's true. Yeah.
And I mean, like, say what you want about Madam Web, but people have been talking about it all year. Like, you know, like it's the worst movie of the year, but people are calling it the worst movie of the year.
You know what, Darren? The good point is, guess who's talking about Rebel Moon now?
Nobody.
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 Like when this news popped up, I forgot that Rebel Moon even existed until I saw this article. I was like, "Oh, right, Rebel Moon."
Yeah. I didn't watch it. I had full intention of watching it because I was like, okay, this is gonna be like the next big thing. And when I didn't watch it, I was like, okay, I'll probably catch up on it because everyone will want to talk about it.
It took me 4 seatings to get through the second movie. I had to sit down and watch it in 4 blocks.
I watched the first part, and I was going to turn it off about just over halfway through. The only reason I finished it is because I knew Eric wanted to talk about it on the stream while doing that. I thought if I haven't started it all, I wouldn't have started it. But I was watching, it's like this is fucking shit. But I finished it. I did it for you, Eric. So there's some praise. Like
I feel like a lot of these games, like we talk about video games, this was in development probably around the same time the movie was being made for them to release this.
Is this like through Netflix? Like, do you have to set your VR to Netflix, or do you have to buy this game?
I think it just probably just be through the stores, like the VR thing. Like the
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, most likely. Yeah, I read through the article, but I was just like, I don't understand. Just from watching the films, there was the interesting stuff that could have happened in those movies that would have pulled me in didn't happen. It's like they ignored all the stuff that I think was really interesting, and clearly I wasn't the only one. So, we'll see. I might actually check this out just to see if it. Well, it depends. If it costs money, I definitely won't. But it's one of those things where you can like play it for free just to test it out. I'll probably give it a shot.
Yeah.
We had another super chat here from South Texas Shark, a $2 super chat. Thoughts on the Honey lawsuit? Have you guys seen this yet?
Honey? Well, like Honey, that the browser thing.
Mm-hmm. The Chrome extension. So there's a lawsuit against Honey because it has been, I guess I don't know who discovered it, like who stumbled upon it or whatever, but they were doing all kinds of shady stuff to give discounts to people using the browser extension, but take money away from the companies and the influencers and everybody associated with the promotions that they were giving to other people. So basically, if you're somebody that was selling something at a discount, they were shaving money off the top before you ever saw it. So that, like, essentially just illegal shit, basically. They were pocketing money, but taking money away from these companies and shit like that. And I don't even know if it's still available. Like I had it as an add-on a while ago. Let me see if it's still in the like add-on section. Hold on, extensions.
I had it for a bit, and then when I ever did the thing like, oh, we're looking for a discount code, it never had one. So I was like,
yeah. So it's gone from mine. I had it as an extension for years on my browser. It's gone now. Like they must have taken it. Cookie stuffing is what it's called. Fatman Plays or whatever. And it says it's cookie stuffing.
That's interesting because that's what they call a Thursday night at Diddy's.
Are you going to go there? So it's gone from my browser, but I don't know. And Jasmine says it's still up, so I think it's still available. But the lawsuit is going to prove whether or not what they were doing was totally illegal. It's still on your extension. It's not on mine, unless they updated it and it's a different one.
I deleted it.
Harrison says partnering with brands to show the coupons they want, not the best ones. So they were also like what is it called? Cooking the books, I guess, in that regard. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. And PayPal bought Honey for $4 billion. Wow. Wow. Daniel says thoughts on Disney buying Fubo TV. I didn't even know they did that. That didn't pop up anywhere on my news. So Fubo is like Tubi and all these like one of those like offloaded freebie. So when you buy a TV now, like you go in the store and you get a television, when you first turn it on, they want you to be able to get content without having a cable service.
Right.
So as long as you have internet, you can watch something. So for example, if I go and I buy a TV, as long as I can get like Tubi, Fubo, any of those other streaming services, you can watch content for free with ads. And that's what a lot of these larger companies are trying to do now is they're offloading their content onto a lot of these freebie services so that they can, yeah, pretty much. It's replacing that because you're paying for that stuff through ads instead of paying through service.
Well, that's what DC did with a bunch of the HBO Max content, like Titans, Stargirl, Doom Patrol's on Tubi or something, isn't it?
Yeah. So, all right, we got 7 out of 10 with 3 minutes and 43 seconds left. You guys, you're so close to getting that poll, the results on the poll. Grayified here says Henry Cavill Batman. No. I would not want that at all. Like saying Henry Cavill Wolverine. No, I don't want that. Do not want. If there's anybody,
who would you recast him inside the like DC universe?
In the DC universe,
yeah. If you had to cast him as someone else that's not Superman, who would you cast him as?
That's a good question. It's a good question. I don't know. Let me think. Do you have anybody you would cast him as at all?
Blue Beetle. No, I was kidding. Let me look at my Funko shelf. I don't know.
Oh,
There's
man.
someone up here you could bring him as.
I don't know. Paige, do you have anybody you like to see Henry Cavill play other than Superman?
The DCU. Gosh. I'm just trying to think of projects that are already announced. And then
Lone Wolf says make him a villain. He could be a villain.
No, I think if you're gonna, I wouldn't like that. Just bring him in as, even if it's just for one movie. But I don't know if a villain's the right way to go. And I also don't know if he'd be able to. I'd rather just not see him play a villain. To be honest, like someone like in like the JSA wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
Like even like Our Man. Like I could see Henry Cavill playing like someone that comes.
I see Deathstroke in the chat. Zod.
What about like a? Do you think he could have done like a Hal Jordan?
Oh yeah, I think you could do Hal Jordan.
No, I don't think so.
No.
What? I wouldn't mind him as Hal Jordan.
Yeah, but I don't know if he'd be able to do a good Wildcat's not bad. Like I think Henry Cavill has like an old school style to him, so I think someone in like the JSA would be like, even if I want to do Starman to an extent, like older Starman, or old school Starman. Yeah, Wildcat, Owlman, I think would be cool. But yeah, like someone, I think Wildcat probably just because he's built like so, like he looks like he could be like a fighter, so that wouldn't be too bad. God, I hope James Gunn has a JSA movie planned. It's such a wasted opportunity not doing it. To be fair, though, I think he's been promoting the new JSA comic. That's I think he's been promoting that like fairly decently. So like, wouldn't mind that.
Shazam would be really funny.
I know it's a hot take, and we said no villains, but I wouldn't mind seeing him as Ultraman. To be honest, I think Ultraman would get a lot of fun. But,
we're
yeah, maybe. We're one super chat away from the goal, unless we just hit it. Did we hit it? No, haven't hit it yet.
Which is one of those days.
Whoops. Oh, we missed the goal by 1. It didn't go off in the chat. I think we have enough super chats though. I think it just missed it. Like the super chat came in as the goal was ending. I think that's the problem. So no confetti, but we reached the goal. So thank you guys so much.
You know what they say? No confetti, no cleanup. So yeah,
right. We reached the goal. Thanks everybody for contributing. We do have some super chats here to answer. But yeah, no confetti. YouTube, you need to do something about that. When the goal ends, if I don't take it down, the chat should still get confetti when they reach the goal. I wish I could just do you know what would be great, YouTube, if you're watching this and listening, if you let us just set the goal for the whole stream, just until the stream ends, because you make us pick a time, and I realize you guys want to do that because you can do that little ticking clock thing. But I think for like streams like mine, where you stream for like 3-4 hours sometimes, it's better to just have it as like the whole stream. So that way people have the whole stream to do it.
Could you like
Anyway.
overestimate it? Just like set it for like 5 hours or something, so it's automatic.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Well, I had it for the max, which I think is 3 hours.
Oh, okay.
I think it's 3 hours is the max. But you're right, Darren. That's a good idea. Next time I'm just going to max it out probably. And that'll work. Anyway, so we have Buddy from Buddy's Big Screen. Look who is dropping in at 1:30 a.m. for me. It's probably like 12:30 for you, Buddy. I think you're a little bit further west than me. $5 super chat, sending positive vibes your way. I have no idea what the goal is, just joining in. It's always positive over here. Try to keep it light and fun. And Paige always
Wasn't
tries to
positive 5 minutes ago. You're talking shit, Eric.
No. You try to pull me back into the negativity. It's always fun over here until you drag me back down again. Defunk with a $2 super chat. I want my $2. Better off dead film quote. Well, thank you so much, Defunk. And then Defunk also chipped in another $1 there to help towards the goal, which thank you so much. Lone Wolf says $2 super chat. Who would you want as Deathstroke? Like which actor we want as Deathstroke? I'll be honest. I know we didn't get to see him do it, but you know who I'm going to say from the DCEU?
Jesse Eisenberg.
No, not Jesse Eisenberg.
Ezra
Well, we did. Well, actually, we did get to see. Wasn't there an end credit scene with
Yeah.
with him in it?
Yeah, he has a suit.
Yeah, I would love to still see that. I think he.
Well, Joe
fit that.
Manganiello.
Yeah. I think he fit that.
I've got a
form
goat
good.
choice. I reckon it'd be epic if they did it in that way. I have two actually. One, if they go and they just for some reason make him Australian like he was an Arrow, or just another one. So the Australian one is Eric Banner,
The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, but I think the goat choice would be a really good casting. I think, 'cause at least if they made him a bit older, would be like Antonio Banderas as Deathstroke.
Okay.
Like that.
Should they do the storyline from the Teen Titans comic with
Oh, he's a pedophile. I don't think
Yeah.
so.
You don't want that one in there?
I know you might. I don't. I think it'd be probably just best to avoid it.
No, I don't think so.
Otherwise, I'll be calling him Diddy Stroke, and I think I might try to avoid
Yeah,
that.
no, I don't think that would fly. Maybe in the James Gunn cartoon universe.
Actually, based off James
But-
Gunn's old tweets, maybe he would want that. So
Maybe.
I'm not too sure.
I mean, I don't know if it's a hot take. Not the way I wanted to start that. But like I feel like sometimes making villains like villains is okay, right? Like I think like displaying him as a clearly an evil dude, like a really messed up evil dude. But I do prefer kind of what Arrow did and what some of these newer versions are kind of doing it with it, where he's like you don't have to like there's more to his character than that.
Right.
So,
Yeah. All right. So before we look at the next couple super chats, I want everybody to know that you still have time to vote on the poll. Right now, the winning number, well, actually, there's a tie. Wow, this is interesting. There's a tie between DCU Fancast Stream or X-Men Fancast Stream. So those are the two that are tied. The other options are MCU 5 Worst Movies and How to Fix the DCEU. Those are the two other options there. So if you haven't voted already, we have 65 votes. That's a lot of people that have voted. But if you haven't voted yet, please get in there and drop a vote. Grayified here with a $2 super chat. Henry Cavill as a Ra's al Ghul.
I'm sure that won't be controversial. That casting. You get woke Twitter angry and you get Snyder Twitter angry.
Yeah, well, you know, they'd be like RDJ all over again, coming in and taking roles. And Luther, who didn't even say anything, just contributing with a 1999 super chat. Thank you so much, Luther, for doing that. I know the January is rough for everybody, so that's why I've tried to keep all the goals very reasonable. But thank you so much. I do appreciate it, Luther, for the very generous $20. Naruto here with a $5 super chat says, "Goal Squid Game season 2 was great. Loved. Hated the character named Thanos. There's a character named Thanos in Squid Game 2?
That's random.
Wait, hold on. Am I reading that right? Is that Love hated the character named Thanos? There's a character named Thanos. Okay.
I'm gonna look it up, see if it's a real character.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about that.
I mean, a lot of people loved and hated Thanos in the MCU too.
True.
Thanos Squid Games. Yeah, seems like it's a real character.
Wow. Okay.
A
Well,
villain of the season, I guess.
I will look out for that character then. 100%. That's pretty wild. All right, where's this at? All right, so the last thing we're going to talk about tonight, maybe we'll see if you guys have any super chats you want to drop, and ask any more questions you can. But this is the last like official thing we're going to talk about, and that is what I think is one of the best lineups for a streaming service, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This makes me think that HBO Max should go back to the kitchen and start cooking a little bit more, because you cannot look at this and tell me that there's not something on here that you want to see. It feels like this covers just so much stuff, especially if you're a fan of The Boys, which I know Paigey is not.
I mean, I haven't finished Rings of Power season 2. I saw it's just one week. Didn't watch it. I fell behind. I haven't caught up. I was trying to figure out how many shows I'd watch from here. 1, 2, 3.
That's already better than HBO Max. There's really
3,
nothing.
Maybe 4.
I'll probably watch most of this stuff, to be honest.
Thank you for the super chats, Grayified. I know a lot of those were your first ones. I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, Fallout's probably the one I've been looking forward to the most out of, well, definitely by far. Maybe SWAT and Noir out of curiosity.
Yeah. All that in 1 year. I don't think these are all in 1 year. But they might be. I think they're in development, though, is what they're saying. Like, these are things they're working on, but I don't think it's all
in the next like 3 or 4 years.
But let's look at this. So we got The Boys season 5, which I know it's controversial, but it's the last season. So love it or hate it, they're going to wrap it up. Fallout season 2. I liked Fallout season 1. I'm looking forward to that. Rings of Power season 3. I think Rings of Power is also slated to be a 5-season show, but I'm not totally sure. Reacher season 3, which people love. Reacher.
Next month.
Yeah. Invincible season 3, which again, I'm looking forward to that. This show I've heard mixed reviews about it. I enjoyed it, but I understand the criticism, which is Batman Caped Crusader. I think there is some work they could have done to make the first season better, because they did change a lot of that lore. But I thought it was good. I think it was a nice like tie into like the old school Justice League, Batman, Superman shows. I didn't watch this at all, Darren. Maybe you can fill me in on this. Has Been Hotel season 2. Did you watch the first season?
I did. It was one of my favorite shows of the year. I loved it.
Wasn't that like a gooning show? When people like,
I mean, it's an adult animated musical,
right? Yeah.
Okay, that might have been why some people were like talking sus about it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a show that's not for everyone. Like, if it's not for you, it's simply just not for you. But
by adult, would they just swear?
Oh no, it's it's a show about hell. So there's
okay.
Yeah, it's just it has themes about sex and stuff like that. So it's very much like, don't share your kids. Don't like
right. This is a funny thing. I get requests for songs from this show.
Oh, the songs are incredible.
Yeah, like Poison. Poison is one of the most popular songs from the show for me. Like, gets requested all the time. I've never watched the show, but I know the songs because I get them requested all the time.
Yeah.
So, did y'all like Fallout? I did. I enjoyed Fallout season 1. I know it wasn't great, but I had a good time. So,
Fallout was very good. Should be better in season 2, though.
Travis says at least half of these I like to see. Anthony says good lineup. Yeah. Then we have Vault Rising, which I'm still not sure if I'm going to be into that or whatever, but we'll see how that goes. That one I'm a little bit like, I don't know if I'm
really
ready for that one. Yeah.
I think I'm more excited for that than like everything inside the like Boys universe. Maybe outside of Gen V, but like,
I was gonna say Gen V is the one that I'm
Gen V I really love, but also like Jensen Ackles, I'm kind of there day one, like no matter what.
Yeah, I feel okay. So let me tell you my reservations about Vault Rising. I don't know how they make that satirical based on the backstory of those characters.
I don't think I don't think they all should be. Like I think as we move forward with the Boys, I think the different shows should have their different style. Like Gen V is a lot less meta than I think the main show, and I think that's why I loved it so much, because I think the meta-ness of it is starting to get old for me. Like it's starting to become too much, especially when we're living in a very similar world that they're kind of like, predicting. So I think Gen V was such a breath of fresh air. So I think like Boys Mexico and VOT and Gen V, as we kind of continue, not to say you have to move away from it completely because it's the world that it's in, but I feel like not all of it has to feel like you're parodying something. Like I feel like it kind of live on its own a little bit.
I just think the subject matter of Vault Rising is going to be really difficult to sell to an audience. That's my only concern. Yeah, because especially going into what like the election situation and the diverse the divisiveness is the word I was looking for between communities. The show it's going to be really interesting to see how they write the stories and the way the characters are portrayed.
And I think it's going to help having a person like Jensen Ackles attached to the lead, because people are tuning for that no matter what, and he's a character that people just love watching. Like
I liked him as Soldier Boy. I thought he was good in that role.
Yeah.
So
I think people will at least turn into that first season, and I'm also wondering how long the show will be, because there's not a long area for them to live in. So
and we basically know how the character's story sort of ends before they come back. So
I wonder if it's like a one and done, just like a one season thing, and then they move on or whatever.
We have Blade Runner 2099, because I just watched the Tomb Raider cartoon. Yeah. Blade Runner 2099, which has Michelle Yeoh as the lead. Wasn't the second movie called Blade Runner 2049? Wasn't it?
I haven't seen them, so I can't.
Hold on, let me see what that was.
It was 2049.
Yeah, so I think this is just a continuation in that same universe. I think. Then we have Tomb Raider, the show, and then obviously Gen V season 2. That's probably my most anticipated boys property coming out. God of War. I'm super hyped for that. I love the God of War games. So I'm very curious to what they're going to do with God of War as a TV show. It's going to be really tough because the scope and scale of the game is so massive. We'll see. So far, Paigey, you said that there's a few you'd like to watch. Any of those first three rows that jump out at you?
Fallout, God of War.
Okay. Then we have Mass Effect, which that's going to be, it's going to be crazy. I don't even know where to go with that.
That's got like a half one because I just don't know how they're going to, like, what are they focusing on? Or is it an original story set in the universe? Like,
I don't think there's any information.
That's that one I'm not sure on. Like God of War, like though there's a lot you can do there. Like you sort of get an idea. At least you know it's going to be Kratos. Like you just know it's so at least you know that. So but with Mass Effect, I'm like, are they going to what are they going to specifically focus on?
Yeah.
I'll be curious because, like, I remember around like the Halo show, there was a lot of people that were theorizing that Halo was just a Mass Effect series, but painted as a Halo series.
Oh, you mean the one they made for the recent one, right?
Yeah. So, like, I wonder if they'll go a similar direction to Halo, or if if they'll go the Fallout approach, which I actually think I love Fallout because it was just kind of a thing in that world. Like, I could just jump into it, but it felt like it was a part of that, just like a extension of the world that they already built, and I think that's really cool.
I know this is a hot take. I didn't mind the Halo show, but it wasn't very Halo.
Yeah,
like I thought the show was good, but it didn't feel like the Halo.
One thing I heard was that like people didn't like that you couldn't hear a 14-year-old using racial slurs in the background when you're like halfway through an episode. It was just like this really takes me out of the experience.
That's definitely the problem. Yeah. So we have Creed anime series.
Anime, yeah.
Wait,
well, like the boxing?
Really?
Yeah. Michael B. Jordan, he kind of like announced a couple of things that he was planning on doing.
I must have missed that one. That's crazy.
It was. I don't know how much of them are actually going to come to light of day, but like we have a lot of Rocky stuff that's coming. Like we have Creed 4, we had the Creed anime. There's rumored to be a show, like a movie about like his daughter at some point.
Is this probably the biggest like reinvigoration of an old franchise, like taking the Rocky thing and turning it into a Creed thing and then spinning it off into its own series? We have Warhammer 40K, which is the Henry Cavill. I think he's still attached to that.
I mean, that's probably a flip of the coin in regards to how that turns out. Like honestly, you just don't know. Like that's just something where like it could just get bogged down and be boring. It's like how much like action is there? Like you don't know.
Wheel of Time. We're enjoying Wheel of Time, but I know some people are not. So I'm looking forward to that next season. The Boys Mexico, have no idea what that's going to be about, but we'll see.
I'm assuming it's set in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yes, no shit. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Now, is that a cartoon or is that a live action show? Do we know? Because I know that's a movie series.
Well, it's a book. It's a book series.
Right. But I mean, there was a yes, but I'm talking about translating it into something. Is it
Why
just
is
going to
it
be?
why do they always keep doing
the
the go with the dragon tattoo? Like
That's one in the series. It's not the actual series.
yeah, no,
right?
but I mean, like they always seem to like go there and then they just don't continue doing it. I
What
feel like
is
they
I
just-
don't know.
It's a book series.
Oh,
Yeah,
But
I
like,
would
David
say-
Fincher made it's Swedish. I think the first one's like it's originally
Mhm.
Swedish, or the first is like live action, like the first movie adaptation is Swedish, I think. And then but then David Fincher did a English version one. And I don't know if he did. I think he might have done a sequel. I can't remember.
Well, people are saying Cobra Kai. As much as I love Cobra Kai, I think Creed was a bigger financial success than Cobra
yeah.
Kai.
And Cobra Kai is for now one thing where Creed has been like 3 movies, a 4th one's on the way,
And also,
an anime, a spin-off, like
It's also like it's the first Karate Kid. Like no one ever talks about Karate Kid 2 or Karate Kid 3,
Right.
or Jackie
Or
Chan.
4. Or 4.
Yeah, like they don't like Rocky's different. Like Rocky's like 4 movie or the first 4, and then they did the Rocky Balboa movie in like what 2000 something like that. And like I think you know,
You know what would be the real test of Cobra Kai? If Cobra Kai's success translates into the success of that
movie.
the movie. Like if there's any fandom that you need to take out of the streaming service and to put their asses in the theaters, it is that movie. It is the Karate Kid movie.
And I mean, to their success, I love Cobra Kai. I think they have kind of like defined themselves as kind of the main of the franchise at this point. Like I feel like Cobra Kai gets talked about way more than Karate Kid, and that's a huge accomplishment. Like they're doing great things. Again, I'm curious what those box office numbers looks for Karate Kid Legends, because that's like my second most anticipated for like the whole year. Like I cannot wait for that movie. But our casual audience is jumping back into Karate Kid after what is going to be almost 15 years since the last movie. So
yeah, last movie came out 2010.
Yeah,
it was 2010. Yeah, so yeah, Jackie Chan's going to help, but I think that we need to combine that Jackie Chan fandom with the fandom of Cobra Kai.
You know what we need again?
Once
Jackie
you do that,
Chan.
it's like the perfect one.
Why are you doing Karate Kid? Where the fuck is Rush Hour 4? Like that's like
yeah,
we're doing it.
Yeah, God, because Jackie Chan looks old as fuck in that trailer. Can we get you doing Rush Hour before you're too old? I mean, Chris Tucker's still rocking. If it was in Air, he was funny in Air, so he's still going.
Yeah. So Defunct is the only one from Cobra Kai appearing in the film are Daniel and Ralph. Yeah, but it's for me it's a promotional thing. Like just like with the Fantastic Four, like the Fantastic Four in the Rivals game isn't the same Fantastic Four in the movie, but you want people that are fans of Fantastic Four to go from one medium to the next, and you need a percentage of them. So I would say that people that are fans of the Cobra Kai TV show would have been fans of Daniel, and then you bring them into the new fans of that show, and then those fans combine together, and a percentage of that should translate into people coming into that movie. I would think anyway.
I heard that so Harrison brings up Jaden Smith. I know there's a lot of talk. Well, I've heard he's got a cameo and he brings up the economic state of the world. There's like a cameo of him talking about that. And he just wanders off. He just rocks up in China or wherever they are, just then walks off after. It's very weird. I don't know why they do that.
I've said I think it's smart to have a cameo in this new movie that is from Cobra Kai, but that doesn't confuse people. So like Miguel wouldn't work because there's so much lore behind that. I think you should throw in a Sam or a Amanda. I think would be the best. I think Amanda's the best one because you have to introduce her to the new audience. He's married, he has a kid. Those things are important to his character now, but it's not going to confuse people either. Where it's like, oh, who is this person? But you're bringing in the people who are like, oh, I actually know those characters. That means this movie's canon to the show up and watch.
How long is the movie placed canonly after the show?
3 years.
3 years. Okay.
So all the kids are probably in college at this point. So if Sam's not there, that makes sense. But like, I would like a scene where it's like Amanda calls Daniel from like where he's at in the movie or something. Just be like, oh, okay, she's there. It's canon. You know, we can move on, kind of thing.
All right. We also have Spider Noir, which I'm still on the fence about that one. I think it looks okay, but I'm still on the fence about it because I'm not sure, and I'm curious how much actual Spider-Man's going to be in it. That's what I'm wondering. I know we saw some stunt stuff being done in the suit, but I want to see more, I guess. And Secret Level Season 2. So, did you guys watch any of Secret Level at all?
I only watched the Concord episode because I love that game. So that was about it. I know.
So you didn't watch any of them at all. I get it.
I
You
saw
didn't watch
like I saw like some clips of like the Pac-Man episode because it was just done differently.
the Pac-Man episode was incredible. That was probably the best episode out of all of them, in my opinion.
But I didn't actually watch it.
Yeah. So either way, though, this particular these are in the works. So these shows are in production right now. I think this is really strong for Prime as a service, whereas HBO Max has almost nothing. Almost nothing, because they're only getting whatever HBO is doing. There's very few, if any, Max originals that anybody's interested in anymore.
Yeah, I think for me, Amazon Prime has finds itself as the best streaming service at this point. I think in terms of a mix of kind of everything, because I feel like most of these streaming services are either a good catalog but not a good original original content, or it's the other way around, where it's like they have a good original content but not a catalog. Right. I think Prime has both. I think they have a large catalog of old stuff and some really popular new stuff they're putting out pretty regularly throughout the year. And it's weekly, which we've been seeing from Netflix. And plus you're also getting free shipping. And you're getting stuff, you're getting that stuff too on top, and your audio stuff, and you're just getting more out of what you're paying for than everyone else.
So even if you only watch 3 or 4 of these, it's still worth your money to have Prime. You know.
Absolutely.
All right, we have some super chats here, and then we are going to watch the trailer for Last of Us 2. I saved it for the end because I haven't seen it yet.
I'm excited.
All right, so McLeod jumping in with $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Sorry, I stepped away for a bit and don't know if it was covered yet, but they should make Alan Ritchson Batman already. His portrayal of Jack Reacher is basically him already playing Batman minus the Cape Cow, gadgets, and money. So we did talk about it already, but it seems like you are pretty sold on Alan Ritchson being Batman. Look,
that actually is a good point.
Yeah.
He does kind of play Batman in that show. He is kind of similar.
I also want to say, in terms of TV stars, I can't think of another TV star that is as physically fit as Alan Ritchson. He's got the look of a Hollywood, a big Hollywood actor in a TV show in terms of his physical appearance.
I know. Have you seen Jack Black? It's pretty good.
Yeah, totally on board. Well, is he on a TV show?
Oh no, is he?
No, that was the whole point of my statement. So even the joke doesn't even work because it doesn't apply.
You're acting like I was paying attention to most of that, DJ.
Yeah, hey, you know what? In his defense, he recently did a Kung Fu Panda TV show on Netflix. So
there we go. There we go.
You're welcome,
totally justified. Thank you for the super chat. Naruto with the $5 super chat. In Squid Game, Thanos is played by an artist from the K-pop group Big Bang. Oh, so I didn't know that. Okay. I get a lot of K-pop requests at work too, so I know about all of these K-pop bands as well. So, actually, one of them, it was funny. I didn't know. I don't think it was K-pop. I think it was maybe it was K-pop. But either way, I went to look up the lyrics for a song that was playing, and I realized that it was all in. I think it was in Korean, if I remember correctly. It's been a while.
I'd assume so, saying K-pop stands for Korean.
Well, I just said I don't know if it was K-pop. That's what I literally just said. I said I think it was K-pop. I'm not totally sure, but it's been a while ago since I did that. And then I realized that there are so many crossover K-pop and J-pop groups that are popular online. And apparently now, somebody showed this to me earlier. There is a channel on YouTube that has classic American songs from I don't know the 1800s being sung by K-pop and J-pop AI software.
What the hell?
It's really weird. Yeah. I'm not gonna watch that.
I went to school with this Taiwanese guy who would rap in Taiwanese, if that's even a language. They speak is it Taiwanese a language?
Yeah. It is.
Oh no, I'm asking you. I thought you might know it.
I said yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He used to rap in Taiwanese. It used to be off its head. He'd be like, well, I'm not going to do it because I'd probably get myself cancelled. But I have no idea what the fuck he was saying. But he'd rap in Taiwanese and it went off his head. And I was like, oh my God. And also with K-pop, it's weird. some of the biggest like K-pop groups have like Australian people in them for some reason, and like that Blackpink has like 2 Australian girls.
I
that
love Blackpink.
Stray
Blackpink is so
Kids
good.
has 2 Australian guys, and there's another band that has a couple of Australian guys.
Oh well,
Apparently
yeah,
it's
because
they want
so
people to
Stray
speak
Kids.
English.
Well, yeah,
That's
Stray Kids has part English and part Korean in it. Because
Yeah,
I heard one of those songs and I was like, okay, somebody's rapping in English, but then the chorus is in Korean. It was like
yeah.
very weird.
But apparently it's because it appeals to the East and the West in regards to like they can have songs that are completely Korean or completely English. Maybe they can also have mixes in there so people can still listen to them. And half rap songs, someone's rapping fast, you can't understand what they're saying. I mean, if you listen to Ice Spice, you can't understand any of it. So, like I guess people just,
yeah,
get the best of both worlds.
Okay. This is it's time to get canceled, everybody. I lied. We're going to watch Last of Us after this. You have to delete one of these movies forever. One of these 4. Everybody's on the hot seat on this one. I already have my answer, and I will justify it myself, but I want to see if you guys have an answer already. So, Spider-Man No Way Home, The Batman, Man of Steel, or Deadpool and Wolverine? If you had to delete one forever.
Do you have any metrics for it, or is it just like
whatever you want? It's on your own personal metric. Whatever you would do here. Keep in mind the ramifications of deleting these movies because some of them are connected to other things.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm sort of leaning towards Deadpool and Wolverine, but then again, that's so recent that you don't know what the ramifications are in the next couple of years. Like if we get a Gambit movie, maybe because of Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
But I'm also leaning towards No Way Home at the same time.
Oh, really? Do you not like it?
No, it's just because it's just nothing's come from it. Like Man of Steel is the entire DCU after it, and the Batman. I mean, to be honest, ironically,
I would delete the Batman. I would delete the Batman because it has no impact on anything.
Yes,
except for Penguin.
Like now, I'm thinking the Batman. Man of Steel is the only one that I think it keeps there because the DCU relies on it, and I like a lot of the DCU. So even though I don't really like the movie that much, it's the one that easily stays.
A lot of the chat is saying the Batman. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I know. To be honest, the other 3, it's probably balanced. It's fairly even. Like you probably have to flip a 3-sided coin.
Yeah.
Or a triangle. Do you have a triangle out there?
If I'm going pure enjoyment, like which one I like the least, it's Man of Steel with ease. Like
I can tell you this. I've seen Man of Steel the most out of these. I think I've watched Spider-Man twice.
This is the oldest, yeah.
Batman twice, and I've watched Deadpool and Wolverine 1.5 times.
I've watched Man of Steel more than 40 times.
Oh, I agree with you, Rogue Sand. Man of Steel is ass, but Eric said the ramifications, and if you don't have Man of Steel, you don't get the other DCU movies.
Well, yeah, because I mean, even if you delete one of these movies forever, it has to affect the stuff that comes after it. You can't.
Yeah,
not think
the
about
only
that.
one that actually affects any sort of like things that I enjoy is Man of Steel, even though I don't care for the movie.
But okay, let's flip that. If you're not we can then start over, right? Like if Man of Steel never existed, we could have tried something different, which maybe would have led to a different DCEU.
Right.
Depending on if you like it or if you dislike it is up to you. I mean, I think in terms of like the biggest like wave in terms of everything, probably Batman is probably like if you get rid of that, you're probably doing the least, right? Because it's one movie. And then James Gunn just kind of does what he wants. But I think the Batman's the best one here, so I wouldn't want to delete that.
Lone Wolf, I think all of these movies have their good points, but I'm going on which one I think would have the biggest impact on the stuff that I watch. And taking the Batman out would not eliminate a bunch of stuff. I guess you could say Deadpool and Wolverine 2 in some regard, but there's the possibility that's going to do something later on. So people are curious about Man of Steel thing. Naruto's watched it 50 times.
That's kind of crazy.
So let me tell you why I've watched it so much. Man of Steel is like one of those movies I've downloaded on my tablet. And when I'm sitting around playing a video game or something like that, I'll put it on in the background so I can just have something to listen to if I don't have anything that I want to check out that's new.
Well, it's really weird because you've only got 2. The other is The Sound of Freedom. So it really shows that
one's also there. Let's see. A lot of people are saying No Way Home, and then some people are saying not No Way Home. Interesting.
I am surprised a lot of people aren't saying Deadpool and Wolverine because I don't know.
Are you,
Like, as I said,
are you
like,
saying it's not good? Is it not good
Well,
to you?
it just doesn't hit at home. It's really like
No, it doesn't. I agree with you. Deadpool and Wolverine does not hit at home.
you have to like. It's hard to watch at home. It's like just because it's purely made to be watched in the theater with like a bunch of other people.
I saw it 3 times in theaters, so I haven't seen it at home yet. I'm curious to see what that's going to be like. But I mean, I will say, like, that gave us our first live action like Wolverine suit that we've been waiting for years. So I would hate to delete it. It would kill me to delete it.
So Darren, you actually sent this over. I forgot about it. It's the Reed Richards clip. We're just gonna watch this quickly, and then we'll watch last.
What's the thing from South Park? Is it like sweaty
What?
balls? What's the thing
Yes,
he says?
yes, that is. It is sweaty.
He says,
balls.
he says like sweaty.
Yes, with the
Okay.
essay.
It was in my head just then. I was trying to figure it out. Was it sweaty or sweaty?
Now for something truly fantastic. That was simple.
Oh my god, this is so funny to watch him, like
failure.
reach like 500 feet to someone and punch him in the face.
Maximum. Let me return the favor.
Oh my god.
Can you grab people and string it to you? OP.
Oh, that's cool.
Look at him, he turns into like the Incredible Hulk for a moment. Oh my god. So funny. Holy shit.
A rousing success.
Alright. It's kind of cool.
Did you see? Have you ever heard that? Seen that controversy? I guess it sounded like a day old because it came from the Golden Globes, but that Amelia Perez movie and it's winning the Golden Globes, but apparently it's fucking ass. Like the
Which
movie's
one?
like really bad.
What movie?
It's that movie with Selena Gomez and like Zoe Saldana won Golden Globe for it and stuff.
I don't know what movie that is. What is it called?
Amelia Perez.
Oh, yeah, I don't know anything about that one.
I don't know if anyone has seen it. Apparently it's like ass, but it's winning awards and stuff. It's like, I don't know if it's as bad as the Eternals, Eric, but
well, I don't know either.
you'd be the perfect person to decide, I guess.
Yeah, I would totally be the one. All right, so we're gonna watch the trailer for Last of Us. Okay, here's the thing: if you're watching this on playback, most likely it's gonna get removed. If it's still here, congratulations, they didn't come after me. But here we go. Oh yeah. Sorry. Who asked that question?
Anthony, I think.
Anthony. Okay. No, Lone Wolf asked.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. We watched the season trailer earlier. That'll still be there. Though video game trailers very rarely get removed unless they have a soundtrack to them or something. Here we go. Last of Us season 2. This just came out like a few hours ago, I think.
Yeah.
So we're gonna watch it all the way through and then we'll talk about it. I don't want to get it. If it gets snapped out of here, at least you guys will get to hear our thoughts. Here we go.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were thinking for a while.
Now, is this an HBO show or a Max show?
It's HBO, and it goes
Okay.
to Max the following day.
Of course, it does. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I was going to ask, what's the so it doesn't go to Max as soon as it's done on HBO. You have to wait till
The next day.
is it midnight the next day or 24 hours?
Oh, I don't know about that.
I mean,
Okay,
here
that's
it's like
fine.
instant. Here it's like almost instant. It's just on there, like as it's airing.
Also, even because I'm going to say, I think like even in Australia and our service here, as soon as it starts airing in America, you can watch it on the streaming service.
Yeah, it's there instantly, which it makes it, I think, confusing for people where they don't know what's an HBO original and what's a Max original. And at this point, I guess they're kind of one and the same. Like there really isn't much of a difference.
It's really just budget essentially, like, and I guess almost like the look that they go for, they make it maybe look a bit more premium.
Right.
I'm excited for this because I want to see if they're going to actually pull the, no pun intended, pull the trigger on certain characters.
I think they will. I mean, they've said they're going to like adapt the game like they're adapting it, so they're not trying to change it or anything like that.
Because that means they'll be losing a big actor,
a big one.
Yeah.
My question is, what I'm wondering if they'll do if they will just extend that a little bit. Like, I think that's what I would do. I would maybe move that towards the, because I think you have to save that to the end of the season. If you do that, like episode 2, people are walking out. Like people are heading out early or whatever. Like, I think that has to be like a season finale thing that they do.
Right.
But that happens at the start of the game. So it's like, how do you do that?
I mean, it basically starts the storyline for the game, pretty much. So, I don't know. It looks really good, though. I'm excited for this. This is one of the ones I'm anticipating. I did see someone sent this to me quickly before we roll out of here. I'm concerned. Sony's at it again. A live-action Horizon Zero Dawn movie adaptation is in the works from Sony Pictures. No! I don't want any more Sony adaptations of anything. Like, I know it's a video game that's on, like, PlayStation, but I just don't have any faith in their movie division. I just don't. Especially when it comes to this. And there was supposed to be a TV show based on this. It never happened with Netflix. I love this game. I don't want Sony to screw it up, and I feel like they are. A Helldivers movie, too? Oh, my God. My goodness.
You're right. I think Sony as a whole has kind of been like kind of ass recently. Like even Ghostbusters and stuff like that. Kind of.
I did not see this camera, but we'll save it till Thursday. I'll take a chance to look at it, and we'll use that as a topic on Thursday. Anyway, all right. So let us look and see what the poll has dictated.
What the poll says.
Okay, Pagey's gonna love this one. He might not be here for this stream. He might bow out for this one based on what the results are here in the poll, and see what it says. So Pagey with a 28%, barely edging out the X-Men. Actually, this is a really close one. This is one of the closest ones we've had, I think, in terms of results. So, how to fix the DCEU topic was the lowest with 18%, but all the other ones were really close together. DCU fan cast, X-Men fan cast, and MCU 5 worst movies are all within like 3% of each other. However, DCU fan cast stream won.
Wait, DCEU or DCU?
DCU fan cast stream. There was a how to fix the DCEU.
So what? But like when you say DCU fan cast, like what specific characters, or just in general? Just go,
people that have not been announced. So like 4 or 5 that we would like to see.
Also like Flash, Wonder Woman, Batman, stuff like that.
And we could talk about why we feel that way.
So
that's So speaking of that, there's going to be exactly.
William Smoke.
There's going to be changes to the way I schedule things out starting this week, basically, and let me quickly go over this before we wrap. Oh, we have a super chat. Hold on. Let me do the super chat first. From Naruto, $5 super chat. Thank you, Naruto. Did you see the Horizon ripoff game that got announced a couple months ago? Yeah, it's like a mobile game, I think. And they literally ripped it off. It's so close. It's not even funny. I forget the name of it, but I would not be surprised if they end up in some sort of like litigation over it once the game comes out. So actually, I don't even know if it comes from a different country. Maybe not. Maybe there won't be any issue with it. Not totally sure.
Yeah, I agree with you, Anthony Cheese. And Paulie Shaw is Plastic Man. What's that guy's name from Queer Eye? Carson Kresley. He can be Reverse Flash.
Oh no!
Is that a dead cut, Eric, that you like?
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, but randomly bringing him up is so funny to me because it's like nobody ever says anything about him, and here you are just name dropping him. All right, so the way it's going to work moving forward is DCU fan casting. Let me write this on my list here. Is any stream that you guys vote on and we reach the goal will be scheduled the next day after these streams. So you'll know when that's coming out. You can plan to be there. You'll know the exact day, the exact time. And I will ask guests to join. So that'll be there on the channel, scheduled out to whenever it is. Same thing with any of the other, like the 5-hour stream. I'm going to put that up, which is going to be January 11th. You'll see the time. You'll see all of that tomorrow. So both that and today's bonus stream will be scheduled out. And there's an Arrowverse villain ranking stream that I'm going to schedule. So all those will be on the channel tomorrow. Thumbnails, dates, times, all of that will be available so you guys can make plans to be there. So that's going to be the goal moving forward, is the day after the Nerdcast that comes up. All right. What's going to be on that 5-hour stream? Here's the topics that are going to be on there, and Pagey's going to love some of these. So the Penguin review that you guys have been waiting for will be done live on that 5-hour stream, but it will also be a separate video. This is going to be much easier. There's no video footage for me to clip out, for DC to claim, Warner Brothers to claim, and hopefully Boba Talks is going to be there with me. So we'll talk about that. So that will be on that 5-hour stream. But if you can't make it, don't worry. It will be a separate video clip that will go up the Monday after the stream, because the stream is on a Saturday. We're going to talk about the impact of the Arrowverse on DC live action media. I actually have a bunch of notes that I've made for that. So we'll talk about that. And if Paigey has time on that stream, we will be doing the Arrowverse memes. That will be on the 5-hour stream as well. So
Arrowverse memes.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And I do have special guests listed, Boba Talks and Ben, ? I don't know if Ben ever gets back to me on that one. Paige, you're excited. The Gritty will make its appearance on that 5-hour stream.
Oh, the long-awaited Gritty. Wait,
the long-awaited Gritty.
Different room Gritty with a
Yes.
Music,
So,
Fortnite, no Fortnite.
All the Christmas decorations will be down, which will give me plenty of room to do the Gritty in another room. So all of that is there.
Can I suggest a bonus goal for that stream?
What would be the bonus goal?
You could be able to lead up if you leave the Gritty and like build up anticipation throughout the stream for the Gritty reveal. You could also add in like maybe like a twerk.
I wrote it down here just in case, so we'll do that. So
twerk and like it's like the WAP dance, like that one. Like
yeah, we'll definitely do that one. And there is a fan film reaction stream that I'm still planning on doing. It'll probably be this weekend. It'll probably be after like.
When you do just watching Superman Solo for 24 hours. Just
no, we're not doing that. I have 3 that I'm going to watch, and it's not Superman Solar. So
what if people
that's
don't?
Not happening.
What if people don't?
Yeah, make me watch.
What donation goal do you need to watch Superman Solar again?
Oh, it would be much more than what people be willing to tip out. That's for sure.
Can I just
really quickly?
What was that, Darren?
I just send you something really quickly, like a 15-second ad.
Is it as good as the locked in meme, or is it?
I don't know if you guys talked about this at the start, or if I'm just seeing it now, but I didn't see it before. Apparently,
I didn't talk about that.
Oh, this is a great. Like I hated this. I did see this. We'll watch it though. This is a good way to end the stream. Honestly, drop that down. We do have a super chat. Before we watch that, let's. I'll do the super chat. Hold on. So. Michael DeFonte here, a team member as well as a $5 super chat. Missed the live, but I'm going to watch the VOD. We'll get on it. Watch it now. Thank you so much for the super chat, and I hope you enjoy it. All right, so this is what Darren shared. This is possibly one of the worst product placements I think I've ever seen. Paige, have you seen this one for the Captain America movie?
Wait, it's a product. I just saw it quickly, like when scrolling.
Well, no, okay, not product placement. It's promotion. It's one of the worst promotions of the product. Yeah. This is so bad that I usually will defend. I'll defend this. Like the Megan Thee Stallion thing, as cringy as it was, I thought it was funny. It was appropriate. This to me is just bad. Matter of fact, I'm actually going to stop the music so we can get the full scope of this ad. Here we go. Get ready. This is. Is the audio on? Yeah. All right. Okay, prepare yourself. This is bad. It's like cringe levels bad.
Oh no.
Come on, guys. Oh. Yeah, that's better.
So it's the guy from the Ant-Man movies. I thought it was a Baskin Robbins ad, and then all of a sudden it's a Tide fucking ad. Or maybe it's double dipping. Maybe Baskin Robbins paid a bit as well.
Look, I'm all for promoting this movie. This ad ain't it. That's not it. Which, by the way, they did come out and say that, you know, a lot of people were complaining about how Sam was able to stop like the Hulk's punch even with the shield. They confirmed that, in case people were not aware, that there is vibranium tech in the actual suit. So the wings, the armor, all of that has vibranium in it.
Also, by the way, that's really like dangerous advertising, because like kids were eating Tide Pods and now they're tying it to a Baskin Robbins drink. They're gonna think it's Tide Pod flavored.
You're right.
So I can make my own drink at home.
100% correct. Yeah.
Mom's been to the shops.
Yeah. Anthony says, I mean, Tide to pay for the ad. So Tide had to pay for the ad, so it's free money. It is, but it also kind of adds more like the movie's not in a good spot. critically right now with a lot of people. I think adding that ad into it is like, yeah, I don't know. Would it be funny if somebody, like, once the movie comes out at home, they insert that ad into the movie, like in that scene, so that it plays in the movie, and then we can watch that ad as the action is happening? I think that would be kind of funny. You know, it reminds me of the Krispy Kreme Power Ranger stuff, like when they had that in that movie.
That was so bad. I saw a clip of that on Twitter the other day, and I watched it. I didn't realize how bad it was. They keep saying, he's flying over the Krispy Kreme. Let's meet at the Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, look, Anthony, the final fight of the movie is on top of a Baskin Robbins. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
It would be so funny if like Paul Rudd made a cameo in Captain America 4, just because
that would
Sam Wilson made an appearance in the first Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that would be great. I actually would be down for that. So, Daniel, you have been very, very vigilant with this comment all night. I see it in the chat. And it never really worked with anything that we were talking about. But we're at the very end. So we're going to give you like a couple minutes to read this comment out because you have really been just running the game on this one. Do you think they overhyped how powerful the Lexus suit was in the final season of Superman and Lois besides the kryptonite screws Superman annihilated Lex? Overhyped. I don't know. In the context of the show, I don't think so. I mean, the technology was specifically designed to fight Superman, so it did make sense that it was as powerful as it was. But yeah. I mean, I guess I could say that if you think of it, that like the hammer was definitely the best part of the suit, in my opinion, and they didn't have that. But I think
we've always addressed that Superman could beat him anyway, even though the suit was overpowered, because Superman's always holding back.
Yeah.
That proved it. That finale proved it. Like if Superman wanted to destroy it, he could. He just had to sort of, let loose a bit though.
Yeah.
I don't think it was overhyped. I don't think that, like, if anything it was overhyped, it was probably just like a viewer or something like that. But it was more just, I don't think it was anyone overhyping like the power of this. I think it was just cool to see Lex in that suit in live action. Yeah. That's what I was excited about.
I can kind of get where he's coming from because they did definitely put a emphasis on how powerful it was, and like, since he's weaker, he's going to lose very easily. But I think it works for the story. I think it works for what they had.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that being said, thanks everybody for being here. 3Dub had to bow out early. He said that the cold weather was affecting, I guess, I don't know what, but that's why he left early. So, yeah, it's fine. Thanks, Darren, for coming over even after your stream. Make sure you go check out Darren's stream. Is it available on VOD on your channel?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go check out Darren's stream from tonight as well to get more of his thoughts on stuff. And I do appreciate Paigey being here to continuously give me shit through the entire stream.
Eric, if I didn't keep you in check, no one wouldn't get too big of an ego.
The amusement of the chat that loves to see it happen. Anyway, so we'll be live again on Thursday for the next episode of the Nerdcast, and then on wait, hold on, what's this weekend here? Yes, Saturday is the 5-hour stream. So I will see everybody on Saturday on the 5-hour stream. That's going to be an interesting stream because people will be able to come and go. So like somebody can come in for the first hour, they have to leave, they come back like 3 hours later, they can jump back in if they want. So that'll be really interesting.
Right, well, can you tease the rough timing of the gritty in that 5-hour stream? Can you tease to the folk watching?
I prefer for it to just happen organically. I'll just do the gritty organically.
Oh, so when you're like in a gritty type of mood.
Yeah, pretty much.
Can we confirm that there was any point in this stream there was a potential gritty moment?
There wasn't a gritty moment at all.
There wasn't. Has there been a gritty moment in the previous few weeks of streaming? They've been like, hold on, I could unleash you. I feel like the only possible time for a gritty was when you were walking around your house and thought in the living room. I thought you were gearing up for it.
No, the only time for the gritty was when you played that really stupid meme that you kept sharing over and over again. Yeah,
it's actually pretty good gritty music, to be completely honest. You could probably do that in the 5-hour stream. We can play that.
We'll talk about it later on because we're ending the stream. So good night, everyone.